Pain. Pain is all I feel right now
I feel great.
as the LSU Tigers took their L to that Crimson Tide.
To the Alabama Crimson Tide. Say it with me, Nathan. Roll Tide, baby.
And that
Kelly
is
Killers.
and that has been the end of College Kings episode 11. We love no. Welcome back, everybody. Like I said,
Hello.
pain on my side, and glory and amazingness for
Happiness on my side. Very
yes
much so
for
happiness.
our co-host here, CDM. How we doing, brother? Besides that
Ah,
win, how was
man,
your weekend?
doing good, doing good. It was a fantastic week of college football. Had some winners, had some had some close games, had some OT games. Can't wait to dive into it and see what everything's been about. But we've had some really big stuff come up in college football, specifically with the Big Ten, not just
Yes.
Michigan, but with other Big Ten schools as well
Mm.
coming into this cheating and sign stealing scandal.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, good highlight there. That's some of the things we're going to be talking about with headline catchers, as well as the Dallas Turner hit. People have their opinions. We're going to give ours real quick, and we'll show you all the video of that one as well as USC making the firing of a century, getting rid of Alex Grinch. They
Thank
may
God.
able to. Man, they might be able to play some defense now. So,
No.
no. All right. So,
Nah.
nah. All right. We'll talk about all of that and give our thoughts on the move from USC, as well as maybe who is the best one loss and undefeated teams remaining in college football. Then we'll give you all a little bit of a recap of the Week 10 games. Awesome, massive games that we, like CDM said, wins and losses that we're going to go through. Your boy was so close on a couple of them, and he missed so sadly. It was a bad week of game picks as well for Nathan Lee, Nate Dogg, and I'm now down 4 games to the one and only CDM. How do you feel about your lead right now, bro?
Dude, I'm on fire right now, man.
You
I'm
are?
on fire. The 2 games last week that let me down, I did pick Kansas State to beat Texas. That was one game that went to overtime. Very sad. We'll jump into that later when the game recap. And I also picked Oklahoma to beat Oklahoma State, and they decided to shat the bed.
Yep.
So, yeah. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still riding on that Colorado pick. I will always say that when it comes to game recap. Colorado, thank you so much. And now Colorado's absolutely nothing at this point.
Yeah.
They
Hey,
have fell off the mountain.
the,
But it's been a very competitive season. I'm loving it.
yes. Hey, they competed. They competed without Shador when he went out in the last game, got hurt. But hey, you're right. They have fallen off the planet, off the face of the earth. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about everything else and winners. sorry, Colorado. I'm a fan. But that's pretty
Okay.
much it. And then we'll obviously give you all our top 6 teams, Heisman watch, and our updated playoff prediction. It's getting a little tight, getting a little interesting,
It's getting to that time now.
Yes,
Getting
it
to the
is.
nitty gritty.
as well as this massive game in the SEC that was going to lay the foundation for the team that wins in the SEC West. It was an amazing football game. We'll get all into that in just a second. But we're going to take a look at one play that really stole the show, sadly. And you never want to see a play kind of steal the show when it comes to the after effects of a game. People are going to have their opinions. There's always going to be an opinion when it comes to a play like this. And yes, there's mad people, there's sad people, there's happy people, there's people that feel like their opinion matters the most. At the end of the day, it's a play that has too many question marks around it, and we're going to talk about it. That Dallas Turner hit, we're going to give you a little bit of a look for the people watching. We're going to give a little bit of a commentary here late in the game. LSU, Alabama, Dallas Turner up the middle, pops
Bang,
Jaden
right
Daniel.
there.
And the question is, was it targeting or not? And now me and CDM will give you our thoughts real quick here. Tough play there from
Tough
Dallas
play.
Turner.
It was a football play for sure. I'll kick this one off real fast,
Yeah.
being the Alabama fan. So the both NFL and college, it's been very weird. It's the rules have changed so much with targeting, with roughing the passer, that we really don't have a description of what it truly is. So targeting from the head or neck area up, if you lead with the crown of your helmet, that is targeting. That is an automatic ejection. Still should be, right? I think it
It
is. It's
is.
still
Yes.
automatic ejection. You could still sit on the sidelines if you're in
Yeah.
college. Um, that play right there, I didn't see him lean with the helmet. I didn't see him lean with the crown of the helmet. I think it should have been roughing the passer because he did come down with all of his body weight on him. His head did hit the ground pretty hard and knock him out the rest of the game. Maybe in the Alabama fan I am, I have a soft spot for LSU because you're my boy. It really broke my heart to see Jaden go down because, as I said before, without him, that team is basically just not the same as it is any other team. So, it was very hard for me to see that happen. But at the end of the day, at the end of it, I just didn't think it was, I don't think it was targeting. I didn't see him lean in with the crown of his helmet. I didn't see him go anywhere. I mean, the hit was close for sure. The hit was close up here in the head or neck area, but it was kind of like in the chest as well.
Mm.
But people also have to realize that if you're a defensive end, you're going at 1,000 miles per hour. Okay. Dallas Turner, being one of the best edge rushers in college football, is going at 1,000 miles per hour. You cannot stop somebody. It's hard to stop your momentum when you wrap somebody up and fall to the ground. We've seen it in the NFL. We've seen other players in college football happen to it as well. In my opinion, it should have just been a roughing the passer call. Now, Dallas Turner has had some skepticism around him being a dirty player. Last year, it kind of happened with Quentin Ewers as well during the Texas game. Dallas wrapped him up and
this is the
took him down the ground.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
Twitter
this
post on the wall.
Nate Dogg will show us this right here.
Right.
There's also a couple other plays as well from Ole Miss last year as well.
Mhm.
So no video.
Oh, you want me to play them? I'll play them real quick.
Yeah, play the video. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show them.
Hang on one second. Here
the
we go. Let me pull it up.
the play last year against Texas was kind of like the same way. He wrapped Quentin up and took him down to the ground, kind of like he did Jaden Daniels, but it wasn't called targeting because he didn't hit him in the head or neck area. He just took him down and lost and put all of his body weight on him. And it's super hard for a defensive player, any defensive lineman, to wrap the quarterback up and not try and put all of his weight down on him going down to the ground. So I don't really think it should have been that. Another play there's two plays against Ole Miss last year. One was an obvious face mask against Dallas Turner. He did accept that. There was no really arguing against it. Obvious penalty. And then there was another play, which was kind of dirty, when Jackson Dart got taken down to the ground by him and Dallas Turner did shove his face in the dirt a little bit. Okay. Here's the play right. Oh, well, we had it and then we lost it.
This play.
But this is right here. So Dallas Turner gets the sack right here and then goes to celebrate. And that's kind of dirty right there. I won't lie to you. That is a dirty play right there. I mean, you don't shove somebody's face in the ground like that. He's not the first person to do it. He won't be the last person to do it. I do not think Dallas Turner is a dirty player because we've seen everybody else who's watched college football has seen more dirty plays than that. Nobody can fool me about it or lie to me about it. Dallas Turner is not a dirty player. I just think he gets some what am I trying to say? He just gets talked about a lot just because of the way he plays, the aggressiveness that he plays with as well. I mean, once again, being one of the best edge rushers, yeah, it is hard to defend Dallas Turner. I mean, you had him and Will Anderson on the edge last year. So, I mean, having those two coming at you, it's going to be hard to defend both of them. And for him to come around there and just wrap him up and take him down to the ground, I didn't see anything that needed targeting. Now, should it have been reviewed? Yes, because targeting calls are usually reviewed by the booth. It was not reviewed, which was kind of weird because as me and Nathan were talking about, some closure would have been nice. Some closure would have been nice at that play. But at the end of the day, I don't think it was. I think it should have just been a roughing the passer. At the end of it, I wish Jaden Daniels a healthy recovery as well. I hope he's back for next week and the remainder of the season. Because that man's, dude's a baller. Dude's a stud. We've seen it for the past 2 seasons. Man, if he does not lose that Ole Miss or Florida State game, and this is only his first loss of the season, we could obviously see him winning the Heisman. I'm not going to say Heisman hopes are not gone for him, but at the end of the day, they are LSU is kind of trying to figure out what to do now with the team in general. But at the end of the day, it's football. You have to let the boys play. And I'm glad he wasn't thrown out, but I do think it should have been reviewed for sure because it was close. It was a very close call for sure.
Yeah, I mean that was the biggest thing for me. Watching it full speed for first thing I thought was trying to come in this obvious target. I mean that's textbook.
Yeah,
Even like, and I hate Gary and whoever the heck the other guy Gary and
I can't stand Gary.
Al or whatever the heck the other guy's name is. Off the top of my head I just lost it. But usually I'd never agree with them. When they first said it, they're like, "Oh, it's textbook," and I was like, "That looks pretty textbook." Then you watch it again, and then you watch it again, and they don't even review it. You're like, well, maybe I'm just not seeing it right. You see it again, you're like, this is what I'll say. As a football fan, I do not want that to be targeting. But as a football fan, I have seen multiple plays, not as bad as that, get called for targeting. So it leaves me saying, like, what the hell is targeting? What are we calling this? This comes down to what you just said. Like, we don't have this like thing we can grab on that says, all right, that is targeting. How do we see this play? And there's multiple plays on Twitter. I didn't want to pull them up, but and there's plays on Twitter that have like collections. And this LSU fans obviously is a homer. They're gonna stack. They're gonna get the data. They're gonna get the sources. They're gonna get their ammunition ready for a play like this. The only problem I have as an LSU fan, even just as a football fan, like trying to be as, give as much parity here. It's like that. Why are we not consistent with these calls? And it's the simple fact of also what you said. At least review it, and give your reasoning. That's the moment. Yeah. That's the moment. Even if full speed, you got hundreds of thousands, millions of people watching this football game. That's your opportunity to say, hey, all right, stop the game. We're going to give them a review. And even if it is not a call, you come back into the mic and you give a reasoning.
There was a timeout taken for that play, too. There was a timeout on the field for it, and they still didn't review it, which is crazy to me because, I mean, if you call a timeout on the field, automatically you think if it's an official timeout, you're thinking, okay, they're going to go to the booth, going to get the screen out, headphones out, and like review this play for sure, and they still didn't. And usually, I'm not gonna and me being the Bama fan, I don't think the refs have nothing to do with this, in my opinion. Bama's been one of the most penalized teams in college football this year. In my opinion, it should have been reviewed. There should have been a review. If you're going to call an official timeout to check on Jaden Daniels, who's on the ground, you need to pull the screen, you need to pull the headphones out, and you need to go to the booth and be like, hey, was this targeting? Is there any evidence of targeting? But we don't have a ground. We don't have like a layer. We don't have a ground of what is targeting. Like it's the same in the NFL with roughing the passer calls. There have been some bogus roughing the passer calls in the NFL. I barely see targeting right now. It's more of roughing the passer. And I'm talking about you can shove a quarterback and he could fall to the ground, not even like hard. He could just lay down and they would automatically just pin you, throw you a flag, fine you thousands of dollars. But
no, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is, my thing is, it's like, all right, the player's down. It's like, obviously get cracked. Like, players get hurt all the time on clean hits. But it's the quarterback. It's the most explosive player on the field for both teams. Best player on the field for probably both teams. And there's got to be a moment where if you're the refs, even if you're back in New York when they're looking at reviews, and apparently they reviewed it without busting out the whole setup.
That makes no sense then if they reviewed it.
And that's a moment where even if it's not targeting, like obviously it wasn't, that's a moment where you bust out the whole thing and you say, all right, this is why. Like to the world, to America, this is you look into the camera and said, this is why it's not targeting.
Yeah.
Upon official review, the player did not initiate targeting due to this, this, and this. That's a moment where you lay out the reasoning why, instead of being like, oh, these refs, it's a fix. They're giving it to Alabama because they didn't even review it. Obviously, there's head-to-head contact. And it's like they're just setting themselves up for this just frenzy. And it's like, besides that, it's like my only thing is like, all right, let's get some freaking consistency. Targeting is the most difficult rule to call in college football right now. Holy crap, Keenan Allen. Oh, my God. One-handed grab. Sorry. That was insane.
It's okay. It's okay.
But that's my biggest thing. It's just like We don't even have targeting in the NFL because it's such a crap rule, bro. It's such a stupid penalty in the first place, and now you got people defending or and usually
Going
people, yeah,
against.
and usually people are like, "Oh, that's not targeting. This is football." And then when you get a play like that, that
Oh
changes
my
the game.
God, you
Yeah,
weren't lying. That was dirty.
that was nasty,
I'm
right?
so sorry. Oh my God,
That
dude,
was
that was
nasty.
filthy.
That was nasty. Keenan Allen still got it. Still got the fastball. Still
11th
got the
season, dude.
fastball.
11th season.
But
Done.
but yeah, that's my biggest thing. It's just like, all right, can we just stop with the BS with this
Can we
call?
find some consistency? That's what everybody needs.
Either
Everybody
that or just
like
get
we
rid of
all
it.
want consistency when it comes to penalties like that, and it kind of ruins the game because like it could not be a targeting call and they call it targeting and then throw that player out, and
Yeah.
then it changes the whole momentum of the game.
And I'll ask you this. Which hit looked worse? And is you could be a homer. For me, compared to the hit last week with Shiloh, compared to the Dallas Turner hit, which hit looked worse in your opinion?
Oh, Dallas Turner for sure. Yeah.
And that was
Shiloh made a football move. Shiloh made a tackle. Shiloh literally did not. He hit him with the shoulder pad and his shoulder pad.
Yep.
He just wrapped. Dallas Turner just wrapped him up.
Yep. And they called
And just
targeting on
put him on the
Shiloh.
ground.
And it's just
And
like
they called that targeting and ejected him. That's the consistency that I'm talking about.
Yep.
If you're gonna throw Shiloh Sanders out for a hit like that, a boomstick, then in my opinion, yeah, you need to review that play and you probably need to kick Dallas Turner out of the game.
And that's my thing is like neither one of those players should have been taken out of the game. But
No.
you get a play like that and then you get a play like this. And it's like, did the refs hold the whistle in because it was such a big game? You don't want to throw out one of the best players on the field. And it's like, cool. Like if that's the reasoning, just say that. Don't be changing the rules. Just be like, all right, this game's close. We don't want to throw one of the best players out of the game because it was such a close play. Like, all right, cool. Just say that. Don't leave everybody in the dust and go leave it to Twitter to have the smartest people on the planet, obviously, give their stupid ass opinions. It's like,
trust me, I've been on Twitter and I've been arguing with people about it. Oh my Lord,
it's a pain, dude.
insane.
And it's just like, I love football so much, and I hate that awesome football game was overshadowed by one moment that was like, and yeah, I mean, besides the hit itself, you take Jaden out, LSU's hopes were pretty much done after that. But I mean, it's like, you gotta due diligence. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Review the play, give your reasoning on live television. I'll still be mad, but I don't care. At least you didn't just let the game keep going, and act like nothing happened. The best player on the field just got knocked out of the game. Yeah, it's like, all right, cool, whatever. I don't know, but
it was
consistency.
It was a weird call. It was a weird call for sure.
Consistency or get rid of the damn call. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, for real. I agree with you on that for sure.
All right. Let's keep this thing rolling to USC firing their defensive coordinator. Alex Grinch was getting paid a lot of money, but he's not anymore. Thoughts on the move, CDM? Is this a good move?
So I think I saw this stat is USC's led up like over 500 yards of offense to a couple teams in one season.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. USC's defense has led up a buttload of yards to a couple of teams in like a couple of games. And then there's another team that's barely like led up the same amount.
I know exactly what you're talking about here.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm pulling.
I can't remember the article.
I'm pulling it up. Here it is. USC has allowed in the last 6 games.
6 games.
Last 6 games, they've allowed 265 points. Iowa in the last 2 seasons. Iowa in the last 2 seasons has allowed 284 points.
Yeah, that's 2 seasons compared to 6 games. So obviously, I think they made the smartest decision. Was it a little too late? Obviously, yeah, because now they have no chance. Like, first off, me and you just talked about it. Waste of talent in Caleb Williams.
Yep.
We'll never see him in a college football playoff. We'll never see him win a Pac-12 championship. We'll never see him win another Heisman again, and we'll never see him, go play for a national championship. I'm putting it all on Lincoln Riley. I think this move should have been done way earlier in the season, probably after the Notre Dame game for sure.
First of all, it should have been done before the season, CDM. We knew that.
Oh, it should have been done like last season for sure. I mean, the defense has not gotten better. You look on paper, and that roster is stacked. And Alex Grinch, like Grinch, couldn't do anything with it. Grinch could not do anything. Like me and you were just talking before the pod. He was trying to get the team hyped up. He was getting the team ready. He put his hand out there to get break it down, and nobody put his hand up for him because nobody likes him because he's a terrible defensive coordinator. He's not worth the time or effort. This should have been done way before. So yes, I think it was a good move. I think it was the best move USC's made all season long. Now, the way you go about this is what are you going to do? Like who's going to be the next guy to step up? Who are you going to pick to be the next guy to step up to lead this team to be better on the defensive side of the ball? And my opinion is the Baylor head coach, your former defensive coordinator from LSU, he's not cooking at Baylor right now. He's not doing the best. His job's on the line. He's in the hot seat. So honestly, if I'm USC and I'm Lincoln Riley, I'm making phone calls to him. I'm being like, "Hey, man,
I like that a lot."
That's a smart move. I mean, Matt House is on the hot. I mean, obviously, Matt House is about to be 40-ounce bounce out of Baton Rouge for sure. So, I mean, y'all may give him a call as well. But USC has made the right decision of firing Alex Grinch to get him out of that organization, organization, and start something new. Because you cannot have this much talent on a roster and have it all go to waste. So, I think USC finally made the smartest move. And I think they're going to take the right step in the right direction. But now the season's over with. Now you're playing for a bowl game. Caleb Williams is probably done, but after the season's over and when it comes to bowl season, he's not going to be playing in a bowl game. So at this point, it's time to start looking for the future and trying to figure out what's the next move for next season.
Yeah, I got it right here. This is a beautiful play for Grinch and his team here. Oh, we're going to break this down, guys. We got this. Just zone in, lock in. Come on, guys. On three. Okay, all right.
42.6 points per game allowed. 42.6 in 5 games. That's terrible.
I love that stat.
That is if I'm like, why would ESPN show that?
That's such a freaking awesome stat to show right there.
I mean, that is a perfect that
so
sums up USC's season on the defensive side of the ball. That really just sums it all up.
Oh my God. I don't think you saw it. Guess there's only one team that allows more points in the season since week 5. Guess what?
It's in the same conference?
Oh, no.
No? Is it Southern Miss?
I wish. No, it was Temple allowing 50 points a game.
Oh, God.
50
points a game?
Yeah.
How many points are you scoring?
Not that many, I promise you that.
Oh, my God. That's terrible. That's disgusting. No, USC made the right decision. How did you feel about the firing?
I mean, come on. There's not much more to say.
I think we're all on the same boat about this.
Yeah, it's
about I think the whole country. I think the whole state of California can finally sleep peacefully at night knowing that they do not have to deal another season with this bum as your defensive coordinator.
Couldn't have said it any better, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's over. Thank God it's over. I'm happy that it's over. I'm happy for USC and USC fans. And guess what? That's only going to help recruiting. Like, come on. Especially if they were to land a Dave Aranda, like you said. Oh, come on,
bro. They just got the number 1 corner in the 2026 recruiting class.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I mean, they're gonna recruit.
It was right after they came out with the news that they fired him, and that kid said, "I'm gonna commit there now."
That's a good move.
I'll take that, please. Thank you.
Sounds like a good move. Yeah, I ain't got nothing much else to say. You had it right on the money. Glad it's over. The Alex Grinch era has officially completed out there in Southern California. I bet a lot of fans are very happy about that. I'm having so many points this year. There's so many points. All right, let's get to a highlight reel real quick here. And this is not just no ordinary highlight reel. This is the greatest highlight reel of all time. The man, the myth, the legend, the sign stealer himself, Cheater McGee, Connor Stallions. Look at this highlight reel real quick. That is Michigan. Oh, my gosh. That is Central Michigan gear he's wearing right there. Oh, point up. That's a pass. We know what play
He knows where it's going. He knows what they're doing.
Alex Grinch in the right corner over there. Oh, that's Harbaugh's even listening for it.
Dude.
Look how happy he is on that one. Right beside Aiden Hutchinson. Let's go!
It's a 3-point win against Nebraska.
Oh, he's chilling behind that guy right there. That looks like a coordinator. Oh, creeping in the
There he
background.
is.
Creeping in the background.
My question is, how did Central Michigan let him get on the sideline?
It's a good question.
Like, how did they let this man, no credentials, nothing? He just showed up in a Central Michigan hat, a polo, and some shades, and just was able to walk on the field? I mean, do we have to step up security now? Do we have to step up, like, finding better things to do besides credentials? Like, do we need to do, like, a whole background search on these people? Because, I mean, that's unacceptable. But going into him cheating leads me into this. An article just came out today that Michigan is not the only team to be sign stealing. And guess what? It's not any other conference besides the Big Ten. The Big
Wow.
Ten is the only conference right now that has had sign stealing, and it's more than Michigan. It's more than Ohio State. It could be every team in the Big Ten, and we just don't know about it.
Yeah.
But obviously, it doesn't show since half these teams suck.
Yeah, I'll read it off real quick here. In a Fox Sports report here, a former employee at a Big Ten football program said Monday that it was his job. His job was to steal signs, and he was given details from multiple league schools to compile a spreadsheet of play calling signals used by Michigan. So this guy was stealing signs from Michigan. All right. The employee said he recently shared the documents which showed Wolverine signs and corresponding plays, as well as screenshots of text messages exchanged with staffers of other Big Ten schools with Michigan. He spoke with the Associated Press on condition he wanted to stay anonymous, pretty much. The spreadsheet was compiled with details from a handful of coaches and programs across Big Ten, the person said. He also said he gave the details to Michigan last week because he hopes it would help Jim Harbaugh's embattled program, and he believes Harbaugh and his coaches are being unfairly blamed for the actions of a rogue staffer. So pretty much this guy is stating that there are rogue staffers within the Big Ten and probably besides the Big Ten that do this. They go out and steal plays. Like, this is not just a Connor Stallions thing. This is this guy thing, multiple other Big Ten school things. Connor Stallions is the only one that just got caught. That's pretty much where we're at.
He got caught slacking. But now now the investigation is wide open.
Yeah.
Like, this is going way beyond Michigan now. This is going into the Big Ten conference in general, and it could spread wide. It could spread wider, especially since the Pac-12 is disbanding and they have more teams coming into the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to be locking down on this, and it's like in every conference. This should be in every conference when they lock this stuff down, because it's insane.
Bruh, I'm ahead in fantasy right now. 32 points from the Chargers defense.
32 points?
I picked them up on waivers, bro.
Oh my god, dude! What the hell?
I need a touchdown here from Herbie. Oh my god!
Jesus!
I might win this week. I didn't think it was possible.
I didn't think it was either.
I'm sorry,
but
Abram.
This is totally going to open investigations up to the Big Ten, to every school in the Big Ten, but also this is going to show every other conference: SEC, ACC, Big 12, AAC. Every conference is going to be. They're going to be they're going to log down on this stuff, because this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable out of every school. I mean, I understand that if you have a rogue staff member doing this, that you can't really check them. But I mean, you have to be there's got to be implications now. There's got to be bigger things to happen to the school, to schools like this. I mean, there's got to be firing, suspensions, recruitment, stuff for recruiting as well. But also this goes to show what's the security measures going on now? What's security measures going on with with games like this? If this is going on, this has been going on for 2 years. 2 years for Michigan. This has been going on, and they did after the Texans game. They talked to CJ Stroud about it, and CJ Stroud he said that we kind of figured it, but we didn't really sit on it. We know they're cheating, but he's in the NFL now. He doesn't have to really worry about that. He's a Texan now, and he's killing it too.
All right. Hey,
shout out to CJ Stroud.
Real quick, I got us right here. This is the coach's comments on the sign stealing. I think we'll be able to hear it. Let's see. Let's go to that. Go to Twitter. I can't hear him.
I can't hear it either.
Can you hear it? I can't hear it.
No. Well, obviously, going into this, they knew it was him, obviously. I mean, you have no credentials coming on the field. You're a well-known face on the Michigan sideline as well. You're on national television every Saturday except once a week. I mean, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable behavior from universities, from staff members. I mean, you're taking away time and effort. I mean, Purdue had to learn, like Purdue came into that Michigan game knowing that they weren't going to win, but they had to learn, they had to teach their whole team, their whole coaching staff a different language, like different signals and everything to get their play calling down. It's unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. It takes the fun, it takes the grind out of college football for all these teams that put in hard work just to get that stuff stolen and cheated out of a win. Basically, you get cheated out of a win. So, it's a very big controversy. It's wide open now for the Big Ten to for college football to really do a big investigation on this conference and sign stealing. And some things are going to have to change in college football for sure. When it comes to this, some things are definitely going to have to change.
Oh, 110%. Pretty much what I was going to say here is that so there is conflicting reports right now. So don't hold me accountable. In an ESPN report here, it says here that the ESPN singer-writer, the Big Ten formally notified Michigan that it could be facing disciplinary action from the league, Michigan official told ESPN. But then Yahoo Sports reports that the NCAA's findings did not connect the in-person scouting and recording of opponents' sidelines to Harbaugh. Sources say an absence of evidence essential to a potential lawsuit from the school and coach against the league. So maybe that means right now all right. I guess the NCAA. See, that makes no sense. It's literally conflicting reports.
Yeah, I'm about to say that is very weird.
My fault. So the NCAA won't enforce any action, but the Big Ten might, which it doesn't make any sense either because
I feel if
the NCAA couldn't find anything, then how did the Big Ten find something? So that's. Still,
excuse my French on this. It's a total shit show.
It is.
It sounds like it. It's a total crap show of what's going on right now. And this is what I'm talking about. Things have to change if you want to change. If you want to stop things like this happening. And it's that's very big, bro. That's a very big accusation. It's the consequences of that should be like firings. Honestly, I mean, I understand a lot of people. Dude, you got brighter. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, the dang lighting in here gets so
I
crazy.
understand that Jim didn't know anything about it, which I find it very hard to believe that Jim did not know about this. Because other than that, how do you beat Ohio State 2 years in a row with the squad that they had? Sorry, that makes no sense. Damn. You can split the series, but there's come on now, man. The video that we just showed, they knew that play was going to be a pass play. I mean, there's no way that should be. First off, they were like 32.5 point favorites against Purdue.
Yep.
Makes no sense that they should be 32.5 point favorites.
Hey, Purdue's pretty bad, dude.
Huh?
Purdue's pretty bad.
I know Purdue's pretty bad, but they also had to learn a whole new signal, like a whole new sign language to learn how to play, for this game. But now, I mean, once again, it's all come out. It's not only Michigan. Things have to change. That's all I can say about it. There's so much that I don't know enough about it to really go into much depth about it. Yeah. All I could say is we have to NCAA has to log down on this stuff to prevent things like this from happening. Because you could be in a national, it could be playoff season, it could be playoff time, and you're stealing signs, and you go to a national championship, and you probably don't even deserve to win that natty. You know what I'm saying? If Michigan goes to the national championship and wins it, they don't deserve to win it at all. But there's no repercussions for it this year. They're not doing anything about it this year. They're going to wait till next year to do it.
Yeah, that seems like that's always – there was never going to be a discipline this season. It was always going to be in the off season. But, yeah, I mean, for me, obviously the whole highlight reel, that's for fun and stuff. But with this new report and all these other reports coming out, I mean, the biggest question was, is that a fumble? Oh my God, they calling that a fumble? Holy smokes!
Is it 2nd and 1?
Oh my God, touchdown Chargers! Ain't no way that was a fumble. That
I'm a
had to
little
have been
behind.
that
Hold
had
up.
to have been an incomplete pass. I mean, I won fantasy if that's a touchdown. Oh my God, please be a fumble.
Continue real fast. Let me catch up.
But yeah, when it comes to the whole,
There's
I don't think that was this. Oh my God, they're calling it. They're calling it a touchdown.
a flag on the play too.
But yeah, it,
If you
it's
won
like
by
you
that,
said
dude, oh
though.
my God.
It's like you said though, CDM, with this whole thing. I'm sorry, I gotta see this. Oh, it's a fumble. Oh my God, that's a fumble. Oh my God, that's a fumble. Let's go.
You have gotten you lucky son of a gun.
I started this defense literally minutes before this game, bro. I said the Jets defense versus Justin Herbert, that doesn't make any sense.
What's the flag on?
Is he in the end zone? Come on, get there. No, he didn't get in the end zone.
What's the flag on? Oh, holding. Never mind. Illegal hands to
He
the
didn't
Oh, dude, that ball. Oh, dude, that ball's out. Oh my God, dude, that ball's out. It's a fumble.
He didn't get the end zone though, but it's okay. I'll take that.
Still
They
got
didn't
the
even
fumble.
give it to him. All right, but yeah, man. At the end of the day, listen, I get this over with. Like, it's ridiculous that this is a thing, but I think we're gonna get a lot more clarity real soon. Like you said, I don't want to say much about it until I know the whole full story.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like we're gonna get a full story for a long time. This is
It's going to be like 2-3 years down the road before we get a full story.
This is a 30 for 30 in the making, in our right in front of our eyes. It's just,
oh, dude, it's a Netflix documentary. What do you mean?
yeah, like this.
I'm expecting in the next 2 years for this to be like a documentary on the Big Ten and their cheating scandal.
The Stallion. Is that what we're gonna call it?
Oh, dude, that's a great one.
All right,
Dude, that's actually a great title for that.
book me. All right.
Hey, Netflix, just to let you know, Stallion. Stallion.
Just give me a call.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. I could have used the Justin Herbert touchdown there, but it's okay. Yeah, man. Interesting situation. We'll kind of keep y'all up to date with our opinions on the whole thing. It's not like we're gonna be breaking anything, but we can definitely react to the craziness around Connor Stallions and sign stealing in college football. What a wild season this has been, full of just narratives around the world.
Oh, my Lord, dude, it's been crazy.
Crazy. Hey, let's get to some crazy good teams here. Oh, my God. He made it. What the hell is going on in this game? Yeah, let's get to some crazy good teams. Best one-loss and best undefeated teams. We're going to just give you a quick little opinion here. Let's do one-loss teams here, CD, and we got Power 5, including an American team, American Conference.
We don't want to talk about. Oh, we talking about James Madison?
That's undefeated. That's undefeated.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. One loss teams remaining. This is not just Power 5. This is all teams, one loss. Who is the best out of these teams, CDM? Louisville, Penn State, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Ole Miss, or Tulane?
Well, me being the homer I am, I'm gonna say Bama. I think since the week 2 loss and week 3 where we struggled, that Alabama has really progressed to being back to where they're usually at during the season. I think we're in mid-season form right now, the way that we've been playing. Defensive side of the ball has been stellar. These past few games, I think we've let up second half points has been 82-17 from the Texas A&M to LSU game. So, I mean, I think Bama is the best one-loss team. If I'm not picking Bama, I'm picking Oregon.
Yep.
Oregon has been dominant since they played Washington. Washington has not looked the same since they played Oregon. So my two teams, I'm going to say either Bama or Oregon. Ultimately, I'm going to say Bama because, SEC is a little bit harder than the Pac-12. And we have we've beat ranked teams. I mean, we have beat the ranked teams that we've needed to beat. We beat Ole Miss at home. We beat Tennessee at home. We beat LSU at home. That's the 17th team, the 12th ranked team, and I think Ole Miss was the 14th ranked team at the time when we beat them. Don't quote me on that for sure on the rankings, but we have just been like the Alabama's team has progressed so much over these past few weeks. People wrote them off after the Texas loss. and guarantee me right now, if Texas and Alabama play tomorrow, who's going to win that game? I think Bama wins that game, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think Bama is the ultimate winner in that game. I just think we've been playing better ball than most of these teams. Besides Oregon, I'm not going to count Oregon out. Bo Nix is good right now. But I think we're the best one-loss team right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
There's,
I respect your opinion on that, but I'm sorry, I got to go with the Fresno State Bulldogs. I'm just kidding.
it's about to flame you up. Oh, my God.
Go Bulldogs! No, sorry. Yeah, in my opinion, it's definitely down to two teams, and it is between Alabama and Oregon.
Yeah.
Dominance, I would have to go with Oregon. Best wins and best improvement since they're lost, I have to go with Alabama, mainly because Oregon. I mean, I mean, they have. How much more improving can they do? And Alabama kind of showed a level where, all right, this is not the best Alabama we've seen in a long time, and then every single week they get better and better and better
Yeah.
and more confident and more confident and more confident and less mistakes, less mistakes made by themselves, not mistakes given to by the other team, and
Yeah.
those are the things that make a great team. They've played in some really awesome games so far. So if you're asking me dominance, who has dominated the most, you got to go Oregon. I mean, they might be the most dominant team when they're winning, but
Oh,
in
my
the
gosh,
country.
dude. It's insane.
But when it comes to best and most improving, I've got to go with Alabama. They have really showed a different level of adversity, and I didn't know that this team could had that in them. Really, I really did not.
Well, I mean, Bama's barely had to deal with adversity these past couple seasons. I mean,
Yeah,
the past decade, they really haven't had to deal with adversity as much. I mean, last year, the two losses to Tennessee and LSU, yeah, I mean, the season was over, went to a bowl game, won. But from what I've seen from Jalen Milroe, from Tommy Reese, I honestly think that we have brought we're on the comeback of an era, in my opinion. We have really come back to what we have been these past few seasons. The Texas loss was a bad loss. The only thing I can't I could pick Oregon because Oregon's only loss is to a conference opponent. We lost to a non-conference opponent in Texas at home. It was ranked. It was a bad loss, but we've slowly but surely had gained confidence in each and every player on that team. Coaching staff, in my opinion, has gained confidence in each other. Nick Saban has gained confidence in his team now. I
Yep.
think he's had confidence for a while. It's taken some time to really put all the pieces together and finally, show the country what this team can really do. And we showed it Saturday against LSU.
Yeah, I do believe so too, and we'll talk about that game in just a minute.
Yes, we will.
Let's get into these undefeated squad seeding, and there's a lot of good ones and teams that I did not expect to see in here at this point of the season, let alone at any point of the season. But let's go through some of these teams that are highlighting our undefeated squads. These are the only undefeated squads left in Division I football, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, the Liberty Flames, James Madison, FSU Seminoles, Ohio State, Washington, and the Georgia two-time defending Bulldogs. CDM, which of these
You put
teams?
Michigan? Did you say Michigan?
I missed. There's stealing sign. Sorry.
Yeah, we don't have to count them.
Michigan as
The
well.
most surprise. Okay, so the most surprising team to me is James Madison for sure, coming up from Division II and really making their mark on D1 college football is insane. So respect to James Madison and what they're doing as well.
Yep.
The best undefeated team right now, in my opinion, it's so weird because I don't want to put Michigan because of all the scandal and everything they're going through. Ohio State has looked hit or miss sometimes. Georgia has struggled a little bit. Florida State struggled Saturday against Pitt. I'm going to take Georgia, man. I'm sorry. They're defending national champs. They have not done anything wrong to lose that spot. Now, have they done anything right to really earn the number one spot? Probably not. But until they get dethroned, until I see that 8 or that 9-1, then they're still the most dominant team in college football. I don't want to understand why people think Ohio State should. I understand resumes are a big thing, but at the end of the day, Ohio State didn't go play for a national championship 2 years in a row. Ohio State or Michigan has gotten booted out of the playoffs by Georgia, by TCU. Michigan got blown out by Georgia in the playoffs prior when Georgia won their first one. Georgia has done everything right to be the number one team and the best undefeated team in college football right now. And they're doing this right now without Brock Bowers, too.
Yeah.
I like to point that out.
Yep, they're winning their biggest games without him, and they got a massive one this weekend that we will be talking about very soon. But yeah, man, I mean, this is oh no, don't, that's a pick. Let's go. Yeah, for me, I mean, this is a tough one. But I gotta hold strong here. I've been riding high with this team. You know, in this coming into the season, I do want to point out here. I had Ohio State number one on my board on my rankings, my playoff prediction for the end of the season. I had Ohio State at number one. I had them at number one, dude.
Yeah.
And if I get that shit right, I am so smart. Hey, I'm not gonna get the BAMA and LSU part of it right, but hey, you know, Ohio State and Washington, feeling pretty good about that. Hey, maybe even Alabama sneaks in there for me, but
we need hope. We need hopes and prayers.
Yeah. So, but I gotta hold strong here. I've turned my narrative to this Michigan squad. I cannot jump off shit now, even after everything that they are going through currently. This team's special, man, and I hate that they're gonna be overshadowed by a situation that if it was Harbaugh or if it was a rogue agent staffer, you hate to see it, but. They allowed the most points they've allowed all season this past weekend at 13, monstrous 13 points from Purdue.
Oh no!
Yes, their season's over. It's dead. They allowed 6 points in the second quarter and 7 in the fourth. So yeah, they're dead. It's over. No.
Yeah, it's time. Nah.
It's time to retire Harbaugh. But
it's okay. When Marvin Harrison Jr. goes into Ann Arbor and tears that defense up, I'm gonna laugh.
But yeah, man, this team, I gotta hold strong. They've put up 40 points in their last 5 games, and 2 times in those 5 games they put up 52. So I gotta hold strong with my Michigan Wolverines here.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I got to. Do I believe that Georgia should be number one? Probably. They are the most deserving team. They are the 2-time champs, 2-time back-to-back champs. And they've done nothing to lose that ranking. And yet, we're always going to try and find a way to not put them at number one. Everyone does. No one wants to see that team succeed again. It's just a part of – it's like human nature. You don't want to see a team dominate like this.
You know what this kind of reminds me of?
Kind
of reminds me of this team right here when we were dominant
Yep.
at one point. Nobody wanted Alabama to win. Nobody wanted Alabama to be at number one. This is the treatment that Georgia is getting. They're getting and I hate to say it, they are getting the Alabama treatment.
No,
they're getting the Alabama treatment when it comes to being dominant for so many years, for being for winning championships, for being good. They're getting that Alabama treatment, and what comes with it is it comes with adversity. I'm not going to say rat poison because they haven't really had anybody really talk down to them as much because there's really nothing to talk down to Georgia about.
Yeah, this year's been a little bit. It's that's what it is. It's the Alabama treatment. It's the Patriot treatment. It's the Warriors treatment. It's the Miami Heat treatment when they have LeBron. It's these dominant teams, these dynasties. Per se. That's how people they hate who wins. That's how it works. That's how
nobody likes to see a winner, and I understand that completely. But at the end of the day, you have to swallow your pride and just admit that they are the team to beat right now. They are the team.
Yep. I might not have my number one, but they are still the team that it all runs through. Like, if Georgia's in the playoffs, I'm not picking against Georgia. Like, I've been not picking against them. Might be rooting for Michigan. I might be rooting for Ohio State. I might be rooting for Washington. I don't know if I will ever pick Georgia to lose another football game until proven otherwise.
If the playoffs were like the NFL, and they had to run through a certain spot, oh my God, dude, Athens would be the place for Athens would be the place. Before that, Tuscaloosa would have been the place. I mean, Georgia has done nothing wrong. Have they struggled against teams? Yes, they have. But at the end of the day, they come out with the win.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's basically all that needs to be said about Georgia. I mean, Georgia is that team to beat right now. What happened?
It was a catch. I really just need them to not allow any points here. I've got a good lead now. Chargers have 37 points on defense. No, please tackle them. But yeah,
I
man,
mean,
that'll do it for our undefeated talk here. Let's get into this recap real quick. Pretty deep into this pod, but we'll get through these pretty quick. Texas survives, like you said, in a massive game against Kansas State with their backup quarterback. Malik Murphy does his thing once again, the 6'5 giant. He is a dog. He is a dog. He might not be the
Kinda
best
struggled.
player. He
Kinda
struggled. He
struggled.
did. But he's still an interesting little player out there. For true freshman, you cannot hate too
Little.
much. Yeah, definitely not little. But CDM, what's your thoughts on Murphy, and if can this team win the Big 12 without Ewers?
No, they can't. They cannot. I'm sorry. I like Malik from these past two games that I've seen has growing pains, but as a true freshman, making your first start in a big college like Texas, in a big conference like the Big 12, it's gonna come with growing pains for sure. I mean, the two interceptions that he had, one interception led Kansas State to go down there in short field position and score. The other one was just like, you know, the other one wasn't that good, but Murphy's doing what he needs to do to keep this offense going, but he's still young. He's still a freshman. He still has things to learn when it comes to playing for Texas, playing in a conference like that. But no, I don't think that they can. If Texas still wants a shot to make the playoffs or to make a Big 12 championship game, they need Quinn back. They need him back bad. Kansas State players really have nothing to be disappointed of. I think Kansas State, the players, did what they had to do to possibly win that game in OT. The only thing I hated is what was that play call in overtime? What was that play call for Kansas State? You had your only read was an out route. The only read you had was an out route, and you throw it. And I mean, first off, you get sacked. You just throw up a prayer, and it just gets knocked down. I'm not putting that on the players. I'm putting that on the coaching staff because that was a terrible play call in crunch time moments to knock off Texas, to end their hopes in general. Just imagine you would have had Texas and Oklahoma lose in the same day. Playoffs are done.
Yep.
Big 12 championships done. Kansas State probably goes back to the Big 12 championship because they are defending Big 12 champs. Let's not forget that they are the defending champs for that conference. But no, I think if Texas still wants to make a push, they have to have Quentin back, and they have to have him back fully healthy because this team is just different with him. He brings a different vibe. He brings a different grit to the team, and he's a different player. Obviously, he's been playing college football longer than Malik has. He's been here for 3 years, Ohio State for 1 year, Texas for 2 years, so he knows what to do. He has those years under his belt. But if Texas can still do it, but they need Quinn back for sure. But Malik, as I said before, growing pains are a thing. Learning mistakes are obviously going to be. Playing aggressive is okay, but you have to figure out when playing aggressive is too much, and you have to play it safe. And those two interceptions really showed. Yep. But at the end of the day, Texas got the dub. Did Kansas State really need that? Yes, they did. In my opinion, should Kansas State have won the game? Yes, they should have. But at the end of the day, Texas did what they need to do. Steve and them really have to figure out what they're going to do when it comes to Malik Murphy and Arch Manning. You never know. Next week, they could make a change because they need to look at that. They need to look at it for sure. But in my opinion, Arch Manning will not touch the field until next year when they play in the SEC. It's the only time. But right now, Malik is the guy until Quinn comes back. But they do need Quinn back if they want to make a push.
Yeah, I agree. When it comes to can they win the Big 12, I'm not too sure because there's a team that's steaming hot right now in the Big 12 when it comes to those Oklahoma State Cowboys, and they're cooking, man. They are cooking.
Oh yeah, dude, they're on fire.
They look good, and I don't know if I'm going to pick against them for the time being, but I like what I've seen from Murphy. I agree, those two interceptions. It's what you said, growing pains. It's not going to be perfect for a guy like that, but.
Texas freshman as well. Second career start,
dude. Yeah.
So you can't really. I'm not bashing the kid. Don't get me wrong. Diamond in the rough for sure. You just gotta polish him out, and he'll be a stud.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
Growing. As you were saying, growing pains are a real thing.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's an interesting he's an interesting ass player, bro, because he can really do some special things. He's got a good arm. He is not afraid to take some shots when he needs to. I mean, they threw the ball 37 times, so they trust his arm. So, I mean, it did
Oh, he's
come
got a
down.
cannon on him,
It
dude.
did come down to him being able to make a couple throws, and yeah, there was some bad decisions and stuff, and some bad luck as well. But if this Texas team wants to win, they got to really lean into this running game. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Brooks is a
Oh, dude,
dog.
their running back's a stud.
Oh, Brooks is so good. And Mitchell, the Georgia transfer, I mean, good
Yeah.
gosh, that guy's awesome too. You
I
know,
mean, he's kind of taking some receptions away from Xavier Worthy, if you
yeah,
think
I
about
mean,
it. I
he
mean, the
led
dude
the
had over 148 yards receiving and a touchdown.
yeah,
And we saw that touchdown. That touchdown to him was impressive. I mean, it was a deep bomb.
yep,
Was the coverage good? No, the coverage. I mean, it was busted coverage. I mean, he's wide
true,
open.
very true.
But I mean, Malik laid it right here into the breadbasket. So I mean, this Texas team has got players. We've all seen it for sure. But
Mm.
Brooks, dude, I mean, as we say before, his future may be better in the NFL than it is in college.
Yeah, 100%. He's got a bright future, that's for sure. But yeah, not much more to say. Texas gets a massive win when they probably shouldn't have. Kansas State made that late fourth quarter push, 16 points in that quarter, but not enough to get the job done. They lose 33-30. The Texas Longhorns keep on rolling along, trying to make that playoff push. If
Well, now
that's
they're
even
number one in the
possible.
Big 12 again.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are, and they have everything in front of them. They win that conference, they might be able to make their way into this playoff. So, they're going to be trying to win all the games they can and trying to play their best ball late in the season. Let's keep this thing going to a team that also just keeps on winning after their loss to Alabama earlier in the year, and now they're sitting right in a nice little spot here. If they get some luck from some teams that play against Alabama, if they can handle their business coming up this weekend against the defending
Georgia Bulldogs.
Damn right. Can they do it? We'll talk about that later. But they survive, and wow, what a classic game against A&M, man. This was an awesome game. I thought it'd be an amazing game. I'll start us off real quick here. I mean, the real question is this the best version of Ole Miss we have ever seen? And ever is a strong word, ever. I mean, if we're going to talk about it from the 50s and 60s, Ole Miss was very, 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 very good at football. They were the number one team for a lot of years in those back in the day. But mainly with the Lane Kiffin era, this kind of era of Ole Miss football, pretty much the college football playoff era. And I've got to say, this might just be this might be the best team I've seen from them. Offensively, we know what they can do. It's very obvious what they can do. Defensively, we've seen worse. We have seen worse from Ole Miss teams. I do believe that this is their best chance with the most talent they've ever had when it comes to making a playoff run here. Can they do it? That's a big question when it comes to a Georgia team that matches up very well against this squad. And as well as, you lost to Alabama. You lost to the team you can't lose to. You beat LSU. You beat all these other teams. You can't lose to to Alabama. That is the one team you cannot lose to. You can lose to Georgia.
Kryptonite.
It is. I mean, you can lose to Georgia and be fine. Go avenge that loss in the playoff in the SEC championship game, and you're making the playoffs. You cannot lose to Alabama because Alabama is right in the driver's seat, and all they got to do is win, 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 and they're in. So, I mean, I do think this is probably one of the best Ole Miss teams we've seen when it comes to the Lane Kiffin era in the playoff college football playoff era. But I do not believe it is enough. But I do want to say I do enjoy watching this team. This team is good, interesting. They got skill players everywhere, and Lane Kiffin is still. Hey, he's still a B tier coach. I'll never give him that A tier yet, but hey, keep on winning, and maybe you can slide yourself into that conversation. But for right now, I guess I could say this is one of the best Ole Miss teams, talent wise and production wise.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. The Ole Miss offense is how it's always been. It's been electric. It's been powerful since it was at the beginning of the season. The defense is just not there. The defense has not been there for the past couple of years, in my opinion. They still give up an insane amount of points, insane amount of yards. They could score 30 points, but they give up the same amount or more, depending on the opponent. Once again, the loss to Alabama is big because if you don't lose that, you're sitting pretty as number one in the West after you just beat an LSU team as well. Dart and Judkins are doing what they need to do. The two main focal points of that offense are doing what they need to do. Dart's putting the ball downfield, making his plays. Judkins is running hard, running downhill, getting into the end zone. I think in my opinion, I do think this is the best Ole Miss team I've seen in a while. The 2 years where they did beat Bama back to back, they looked good, but then they crumbled in the season. After that game, they crumbled. They just seemed to fall off.
Yeah.
I think that had to do with coaching. They did find the right coach in Lane Kiffin for sure. I think Lane has for sure turned that team around. And I mean, it's been happening for a couple years. We've been waiting for Ole Miss to really make that pop and be like, hey, we're here to compete for the SEC. We're here to compete in the SEC. They just can't get over that Bama hump, man. I mean, Lane Kiffin has never beat Nick Saban. Hoping that he never does. Hope he just sits, at the right hand right here, under Nick Saban a little bit. I'm not going to give him that A tier either. I'll give him a B plus. Give him a B plus for the coach he is right now. I have a soft spot because he did, help us win a natty.
Yep.
But my thing about Texas A&M, it's about Texas A&M is I think it's about time to close that book on. I think it's about time to close that chapter on Jimbo Fisher. I think it's about time to really look into the future of, is he really the guy that's going to, take us the distance and make us a threat to every other team, to a Georgia, to an LSU, to an Alabama? And we haven't seen it. I mean, he hasn't had a losing season, but he hasn't had the seasons that he has promised the Aggie fans of, going into an SEC title game, possibly making a playoff appearance. He hasn't really done that. So, money can buy you players, but they can't buy you wins. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can go out there and buy your recruitment class. You can have the best recruitment class of like the past few years, but that doesn't mean that that's going to carry onto the field and, establish a culture of what some other teams have done. Kirby has a culture at Georgia right now. Bama, Nick Saban's always had the culture. Lane Kiffin has a better culture than Jimbo Fisher right now in Ole Miss. I think it's just time for Texas A&M to really sit down and be like, hey, is he really the guy that's going to take us to the distance, take us to the promised lands? And I just don't think it is. I think, this game kind of showed it here and there. No disrespect to Texas A&M and their defense. They're good, but there were points in that game where I saw that, Jimbo's coaching, he gets out coached.
Yep.
He really does get out coached by better coaching, by better head coaches like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin's such an offensively minded coach that he can pick your defense apart and know where to go with the ball without stealing signs. That's the funny part. That's what happens when you're a good coach. Oh, he's passing. He's passing. It's a good game for sure. I loved it. Me and you watched it when we got done playing golf. It came down to the wire for sure.
Breaking news on College Kings as well. This is college ball. Speaking of James Madison, just ices number 4 Michigan State in college basketball. Oh my gosh.
They beat Michigan State?
Yes.
Is this men's or women's?
Men's.
Oh my God.
That's pretty
James
big.
Madison. Clap for the boys,
Bro,
man.
they
Clap
are
for the boys.
On fire right now, bro.
On fire right now in both college basketball and college football.
Holy
But
smokes.
to end this, yes, I think that this is the best Ole Miss team I've seen, and I think they can only go up. They just need to fix the defensive side of the ball. It's the only thing they need to fix if they want to be a legit threat in the SEC. And you got to be able to get over the Alabama hump. You got to be able to beat the big teams, and this weekend is going to show if you can beat the big teams, which we'll talk about that later.
Bro, imagine your first win of the season in basketball is standing against the number 4 team in the country, bro.
Oh, dude, I'm riding high, bro. I am riding high. Talk about it's party all night long after that. But I think that will wrap up the Ole Miss versus Texas A&M game. Now we're going to travel to a disappointment of a team that, in my opinion, just looked too far into the future. Had a terrible loss last week against Kansas. I'm talking about Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. The Cowboys take down the Sooners and hand them their second loss of the season. I'll kick this one off. The script says they fell off, in my opinion. They really did fall off. I think that Oklahoma, after that Texas win, they just looked forward way too far into the future. I think they were riding that cloud nine pretty high when it came to, hey, we just beat Texas. We're about to go play. We're one of the best ranked teams in the country right now. One of the most hyped teams after that for sure. Because me and you were talking about it. We were on the Oklahoma train for sure. Because it was it was a different team from Lincoln Riley's team. It was a defensive team as well. There was offense, but there was a good defense, and they struggled. They struggled so much. After that bye week, they came out almost lost to UCF, 31-29, very big, very close, very, very close, but they came out with a dub. Then they go into Kansas. Kansas had their number. Kansas had it ready. Kansas has never beaten Oklahoma. Nope. So they came out on fire. They won the game. Their run game was dominant. The defense did not know the defense kind of looked bamboozled, like they didn't know what to do. And they just, once the smoke cleared, I think we all saw the frauds that they turned out to be. We all saw that, they were overhyped. Texas wasn't ready for that Oklahoma game. But Oklahoma State, as me and you were just talking about, Oklahoma State's good. Oklahoma State is a good team to be a part of.
Yes.
And they just came in ready to fight, man. They came in ready. They had it ready for them. They had their number for sure. In my opinion, the Sooners looked as I said, they looked way too far in the future. They were clouded by hype. They were clouded by the college football rankings. Everybody was hyping them up, and I think that got to their head a little bit. And it caught up to them. It did catch up to them, and it's starting to show for sure. 2 straight back-to-back losses. Playoff hopes are done. Big 12 championship is slowly closing if they don't figure things out. And I had Oklahoma going back and playing Texas and possibly making the college football playoffs. I don't see that anymore. I see them as a New Year's Six bowl for sure. But they just looked way too far in the future. I feel like Brent Venable got way too ahead of himself when it came to this team and the opponents that they played. I think they took games way too lightly. Play calling was not there. The defense struggled these last 3 games that they played is very much so struggled. So it's just Oklahoma, man. You kind of let the country down. You let your state down. You let us all down from what you were from what that Texas game showed to where you are now. It's a big letdown for sure. And, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to figure things out for sure. You lose Dylan Gabriel after this year. So now after this year, you have to figure out who's going to be your starting quarterback. Is it going to be Arnold? Is it going to be General Booty? I don't know who it's going to be. So you have to really figure out. And this also goes for other teams as well. Don't look too far into the future. Don't take one game at a time, because as I said before, you have to be able to – these conference games matter. This gets down – when it gets to conference play, it's nitty-gritty. Every game counts, and they just didn't come prepared for these last 2 games, and ultimately they lost them. And, college football playoffs, you kiss it goodbye.
General Booty reporting.
General Booty, sir, ready for duty. Oh, that's a weird name for a kid, dude. Imagine going in a roll call at school. Booty?
Hey.
Is Booty here?
Hey, where's Booty at?
Hey, where's that Booty? Hey, where's Booty?
Whoa.
General? Am I reading this right?
Yeah,
you are. General.
The name's the General. But get back to reality here. Yeah, it is wild to see kind of this fall off from the Sooners, really.
It was big, dude. It was a big fall off.
It just makes sense after what Dylan Gabriel was doing, and I don't want to rehash everything that you said. It's just he's playing at such a high level. He had a Heisman moment in that Texas game. Literally, that game put him in the top 3 for the Heisman, and now, now he's even in the top 5. It's like,
oh no,
it's so fast how things have changed, and. As much as I want to give Oklahoma, say these things about Oklahoma, I have got to give my boy respect for Oklahoma State here. Ollie Gordon the second.
Is that the running back?
Dog. He is a dog. 6'1", 211. I thought he was a little bit bigger than that.
He looks a lot bigger than that.
He is averaging. Where is it? Holy smokes, that's not right.
He's putting up Derrick Henry numbers, what people don't know.
That's wrong. Okay, I was looking at he is averaging 7 yards a carry. 12 tuds,
What?
1,224 rushing yards. He also
What?
has 219 receiving yards and
What?
and one receiving touchdown.
That's more than Derrick Henry had in college.
I mean, he's a freaking animal, and I mean, he truly, he might find his way into that top. He will be in the top 10 for the Heisman. He might climb his way into that top 7. He is really playing impressive.
What's their record?
They are 7-2. They are number 2 in the Big 12. And now that win against Kansas is looking very, very massive for this
Oh, they
team.
play Kansas this week?
No, they beat them already, 39-32. So, and that's who's number 3 in the conference. So, sorry, I'm tired.
Those daylight savings time's killing me.
But yeah, I mean, this team is cooking right now. They have won. They beat Kansas State. They beat Kansas. They beat West Virginia. They beat Cincinnati. They beat Oklahoma now. Now you get UCF, Houston, and BYU. I mean, they're going to win those games, in my opinion, with how they're playing right now. And they could go.
Did they play Texas?
No, they avoided Texas. So.
So what I'm hearing is what we if they continue the way they're doing,
they will.
We could get Texas versus Oklahoma State. Okay, I got you.
Yep. So, yeah, that's what it looks like will happen. And, man, I ain't got much more to say besides what the heck happened in Oklahoma. I don't know. I mean, I watched the game, but it's like a different team. It's like a different team.
It was a whole different team, dude. I mean, it was insane to see so much hype and then so much disappointment.
Yep. It's insane, man. Really, really is. And, hey, shout out to Oklahoma State. Go win that conference. Why not? Why not?
Hey, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. All right. Let's go to absolute and utter cinema in college football. These next 2 games that we'll be talking about here, cinema. That's all we can say. Just college football personified
At its best.
At its best. We're going to start with the Washington versus USC game. We've had our opinions about USC, but what a game this was to watch these 2 quarterbacks duel it out. Possibly number 1 and number 2 off the board in this upcoming draft. And man, oh man, did they not disappoint. They played their butts off. Amazing football game that leads in a victory for Washington. CDM, give me your thoughts on the game, and if this was Penix's second Heisman moment this season.
Well, there was a play that Penix made rolling out of the pocket and then finds his tight end in the end, rolls out to the left, his strong side, throws it downfield, finds tight end, hit him right there in the end zone, toe tap for a touchdown. That was a big moment. I don't want to say that was his Heisman moment. I don't want to say that was another Heisman moment, but I am. I mean, it was insane. It was a beautiful play. It's a beautiful throw. This game was what everybody expected it. It was a shootout between 2 of the best quarterbacks, as you said, best 2 quarterbacks in the country. Michael Penix goes for 22 of 30 for 256, 2 touchdowns and interception. Caleb Williams, 27 of 35, 312, and 3 touchdowns on the night. And another game that everybody will remember him and his college career by. Now, I'm not putting anything on Caleb Williams. This was not his fault. He did everything that he could. I don't care what anybody says. If a grown man cries to his mama, let that man cry to his mama, okay? Fair. That is mama. You don't ever come for a man at that, okay? Especially for a kid that has put his heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into a game, into his season that ultimately comes up short because of the defensive play, because of the coaching, because of because of the defensive side of the ball letting him down. Caleb Williams can't play both sides of the ball. So I'm not putting anything on I'm not putting anything on Caleb Williams. He does what he has to do, and it sucks that we will never see him play for a natty, a Pac-12 championship, or another Heisman again. His college career is done now. Well, not done because the season's not over, but you know what I mean. His better years are ahead of him coming in. When's the draft? In April, I think. Yeah, come April when his name is called number 1 overall. I don't care what anybody says. I know we've talked about Michael Penix, about him, about other quarterbacks, Jaden Daniels going number 1, and Caleb Williams is the number 1 overall pick. Let's just get that down pat. Caleb Williams is the best quarterback, best player in the country. Nothing against him, dude. It was one of the best games of the Pac-12 season this far. But to Washington has to figure things out on the defensive side of the ball.
Yes.
If they want to make a threat, if they want to compete with teams with the likes of Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, Michigan. They can't be allowing 42 points or more to teams like that, because if you do that, you're not going to win a game, especially with Georgia, the way they play on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to shut down that Washington offense probably. The Washington offense can go and compete with the best of the best for sure, but the defense has to figure things out when it comes to, letting not letting up 42 points. 42 points is a big one. You let up 33 to Oregon, which is not bad, but still you went down to the wire as we all expected it to go down to. But if you want to be a threat, if you want to be able to make a push for the playoffs and show people that you're ready to compete, then you have to figure out the defensive side of the ball, because other teams are going to just pick you apart. Other quarterbacks are going to pick that defense apart. I mean, it was insane. It was insane for the offensive side because we expect that from Michael Penix. We expect that from the Washington offense. Their running back, by the way, absolute stud, over 275 yards rushing for 4 tuds.
Yeah.
First off, I know it's against a bum-ass defense, but, at the end of the day, the dude, he killed him. Washington's offense is the best in the country right now. LSU had it at first. I still think LSU has the second best offense, but Washington right now being led by Michael Penix Jr. going undefeated into this Utah game is going to be, it's a trap game for sure, but it's going to be one of the best games of his career for sure. Once again, an electrifying game, cinema game, beautiful, what everybody wanted, high scoring, but you got to figure out the defensive side of the ball before you're ready to compete with the big boys. Yeah. Because those big boys are going to chew you and spit you out like you're nothing.
Yeah.
So figure that out, and then Washington figures that out, then I think they're going to be sitting pretty for a playoff spot.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it was awesome. This is football, college football at its finest, and yeah, you want to see defense, but sometimes it is nice to watch these offenses with these kinds of players.
Oh, it's always nice to watch, like, offensive powerhouses just putting up points.
USC's run defense is absolutely horrendous. They can't tackle. They just cannot tackle.
Jalen Milroe goes against that defense.
Oh my God! But I don't want to take anything away from Dylan Johnson. He was an absolute stud. You put out the stats: 256, 4 tuds. He was an absolute unit running the football. That was one of the most dominant run games I've seen in a very, 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 very long time.
I think that was under like 20 carries as well. Correct me if I'm wrong.
26, but still,
Damn, never mind.
But still, it's still 10 yards a carry, bro.
10 yards a carry?
Yeah.
Good God, dude. No wonder they fired him. Oh, my God.
That's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Oh, my gosh. That's insane to see. They ran for 300 yards. Penix did his thing. And, yeah, Penix had some moments. That's the big question. Is this his second Heisman moment? I don't know if I would consider it a Heisman moment yet, because I would say the Oregon game, that last drive, was his first Heisman moment. Now you got to look at, all right, so what do they got next? What team are they going to face next that he is going to have to pull something, out of nowhere? And we could have to see it again against Utah. In my opinion, it's going to come down to that Pac-12 game, and you got to see him do it again against probably an Oregon who is, once again, the hottest team in college football. There's 2 teams that nobody wants, well, probably 3 teams that nobody wants to see right now. And that is Oregon, that is Alabama, and that is Georgia. Nobody wants to see those 3 teams in college football right now. And
no,
not a soul.
God, no. They're so hot. They're on fire right now.
Yes, and no one wants to see them. Alabama, who wants to play Alabama this late in the season when they got everything in front of them? Who wants to play Georgia in general? And who wants to play Oregon? They're the hottest team in football. Like, they are cooking right now. So,
when it comes down to that Pac-12 rematch, it's going to be a different game. It's going to be a totally different game.
That game's going to be so good. Oh, my gosh, that game's going to be so good.
I'm going to have to get off for championship weekend.
Oh, my God, that game is going to be so good. But, man, yeah, I want to see him do it again against Oregon. That will probably be the game that we get. And, man, I love football. I love football. And Caleb Williams, like you said, that dude is so damn good at football. And, like you said, I like to see the emotion there. I like to see a player that is a human. He gets caught up in a lot of things, and yeah, rightfully so. He's done some things that you're probably they cause a sign of concern when he's asking for minority ownership as a rookie. I get it. Those things are a little. It's hard to defend, but at the end of the day, he does show that he's a human when he loses in this fashion, and he's not just a businessman at heart. I mean, he is a football player. And
Yeah.
no one wants to freaking lose, especially the games like this. This was their season, to maybe, cause some controversy within the conference. But at the end of the day, hey, Washington, let's keep on winning, baby. Let's keep on
Go with the
winning.
Dubs, baby.
Go with the
Huskies. Let's
Dubs.
go Huskies.
Hey, are you gonna throw up your your letter on your hat? I'm not gonna finish that.
I'm just gonna point at it because I can't. I don't even like. I don't know. Is this it? Like I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that or
No. Let's just stick with this. Let's just go with Roll Tide, baby.
I guess that transitions into our next game here, CDM. We're gonna talk about the game of the week. What a game it was. I mean, this is also another instance of football, college football at its finest. Love to see it. And as an LSU fan, it sucks. It's painful. That was a sucky night. But as a football fan, that was as good as you could ask for besides Jaden going out. That was as good as you could ask for in college football. CDM, you're the winning side of this one, so I will let you take over. Hey, give me your thoughts on the Tide's turnaround this season.
Oh my God, dude, it's been a miracle. Honest to God, it's been an absolute miracle. I mean, week 2 we lost against Texas. I mean, it was a hit or miss, honestly, if we were going to lose to them. I mean, Texas was that team at the beginning. Lost to Oklahoma, so lose Quinn Ewers right now, so it's not looking too hot. But the way this team is just built up week by week by week has gotten the connection, has gotten the energy, has gotten focused on what the ultimate goal is, how the coaching staff has come together, how Nick Saban has gathered every piece together and finally put the puzzle together and figured out how this team can really work. It blows my mind because first off, I've never seen an Alabama team like this. I was struggling at the beginning of the season. When we played University of South Florida, I was like, oh my God, we're absolute dog water.
Yeah.
We're garbage.
And what a turnaround from them, man. Jeez.
And then we come out and we play Ole Miss. We beat Ole Miss. We hold them to 10 points because their offense was scoring 50 points a game. And we hold them to 10 points, a miracle. Well, not even miracle, I would say. I mean, that was the stepping stone that we needed. That was the SEC game that we needed to win to really show people that we are still here to be threatened with. Jalen Milroe, week by week by week by week, has gotten tremendously better as a player, as a quarterback. He doesn't rely on just his arm. He doesn't rely on just his legs anymore, even though his legs are the best part of his game. We saw that 4 touchdowns, 155 yards rushing, led the team, absolute unit. But this team has shown me that we can go the distance with every team that we play against. LSU was the biggest threat on the schedule so far. We got our revenge game from Tennessee, going down 20-7 at halftime against Tennessee and then coming out and holding them to 0 points was awesome. I love to see it. The second half defense for Alabama, you don't want to play it. You do not want to play that second half defense. It's amazing to me that in the first half between Arkansas and what was that other game that we played? Arkansas and Tennessee, when we played them, Arkansas in the first half, we played electrifying. We went up 21-3 in the second half. We bottomed out kind of. We almost lost. Tennessee was different. We were ass in the first half, and then the second half came out. We shut them down. Had the bye week, and it was a really good practice. And I knew when I saw Jalen Milroe come out with that arm sleeve and that leg sleeve, I was like, oh, we're not losing.
Right.
Oh, we cannot lose this game. The dude's decked out, look good, play good, and that was a fact. My man played good. He played electrifying. He did everything that he needed to do. Running the ball, tremendous. But the passing game to me for him has gotten 10 times better than where it was at the beginning of the season. Every time he threw the ball, I would hold my breath and be like, okay, well, this could be either a touchdown, a first down, or an interception, depending on where the ball's going. He has gotten better with the decision-making. He has gotten better with reading the pocket. His pocket presence has gotten better, not making idiotic decisions with forcing the ball downfield, forcing the ball into coverage, finding wide open guys, making plays last longer than they should. He's been playing better football these past couple of weeks than I've seen than at the beginning of the season. The defense has just gotten better and better throughout the weeks. Um, this LSU offense was the biggest test for us, in my opinion. It was, they showed it. LSU's offense ranked first in every category. And that first half, dude, that first half came down to the wire.
Yep.
If that was the game on the line, we were going into OT. 21-21 at half, and then LSU comes out that second at the beginning of the second half, goes down, scores on their opening drive. I was like, okay, we're gonna have another classic football game.
Yep.
And then we got the ball back. And then we caught lightning in a bottle and ran with it. We played tremendous from wide receivers to offensive line played tremendous. I think this was the best game the offensive line has played. I think they have all come together now as a band and figured out what the problem was and how to fix it. Jalen Milroe has figured out his mistakes and how to fix them as well. And everybody's figuring out what this team is like. And this is the scary part, is when Alabama figures it out, everybody is scared to go against Alabama. As you just said, it's a very scary team to go up against in midseason form like this. So I think this was the best. Obviously, this was the best game that we've played. This is the game where we looked like a 60-minute football team. No penalties, no idiotic plays, no pre-snap penalties that we've usually had. I think when it comes to second half, Alabama has outscored teams 82-17 in the second half.
That surprised me.
That's amazing. That's awesome to see that a defense can take hold of a game in the second half, because that's where the first half is where you start figuring everything out. The second half is where it all matters, because that's where the game comes down to. And they figured it out. Tommy Rees apparently waited till this game to open up the playbook.
Yep.
Obviously, he waited to open up the playbook because it was. This is the best game I've seen him call, dude. You can vouch for it. Like the first couple of weeks, it was just like, dang, is Tommy Rees really that guy that we hired? Like, is he really? Dude. I honestly thought he was. I thought he was a bum, dude. I agree with you. I thought he was dog water. But Nick Saban, you never count out Nick Saban.
Nope.
Never count out the GOAT. And when you least expect it, he'll light your butt on fire. And this is what happened. No disrespect to LSU. LSU played one heck of a game, but at the end of the day, the tide continues to roll into a winning season. We go on to next week to play Kentucky. And then if we beat them, we go to play Chattanooga. And then we end the season with Auburn. And we're sitting pretty right now. We're sitting pretty, top of the West. Screw Ole Miss. Ole Miss cannot do anything. I don't care. Ole Miss is bums now. Ole Miss is cheeks compared to this. Ole Miss is not winning the West anymore. Sorry.
I think Chattanooga's got y'all's number.
Dude, I honestly think so, too. I think Chattanooga is going to be the team to really hand us our second loss. It's what's scary. Oh, man. Oh, I don't even know any play. I don't even know their head coach's name.
Don't ask me.
Exactly.
Don't ask me.
But Jalen Milroe, the focal point for me is that Jalen Milroe showed me that he is the guy now, that I ride with for. And I put out on Twitter personally, I said, I am sorry for everything I said about Jalen Milroe at the beginning of the season. I am so sorry about that, because I was a hater and now I am a believer and I am a follower of Jalen Milroe and this Alabama team. So that's all I really need to say about that. Great game between two historic teams. This is the game that makes college football every year. Nobody can change my mind that Alabama versus LSU is what everybody awaits for in the college football season, because it's always going to be a game. There's some games where there's going to be blowouts. There's some games where it's going to come down to the wire. Last year was a wire game. This year was just, we had the number. We had to come out with some revenge, and we finally got it done.
Hey.
How did you feel about this game, Nathan?
Hey, man. I do want to say, first things first.
Oh, I would also like to say this. You remember when you said the Saban killers? Ah, man. The Kelly killers are back, baby. Let's go.
You got that out of your system?
No, I wish I could play the Alabama fight song like you did last week for LSU, but I can't do that.
I guess it's only fair, right?
Play it for me, babe.
I guess it's only fair.
Play it for me, babe. You crank the volume up on this real fast. I don't care.
All right, fine. No.
If you play the LSU fight song again, I'm going to kill you.
Hang on.
Sorry, guys. He's having to swallow some pride to play this amazing song
Why is it not playing?
because you hate us. Because you ain't us.
I am literally trying to play this right now.
I understand. It's okay if you can. It's okay. We understand.
Hey, it's the effort that counts. No,
It's the effort that counts.
Hey, first things first. GG's amazing football game.
GG's, sir. GG's. Shake
Yes,
through the screen.
yes,
Shake through the screen.
yes.
Good GG's.
Good GG's. But at the end of the day, I do want to say this. I said it. I've said it, and I will keep on saying it. Jalen Milroe is that guy, and he has been that guy. I'm so sick and tired. I was and I am sick and tired of this whole narrative that he is not a legit quarterback. Yeah, maybe he doesn't play in the NFL. Who gives a crap about that? I'm talking about right now. This dude is the most athletic Alabama quarterback I have ever witnessed. I've said that since what game did he play last year? A&M?
Yeah.
A&M game. Ever since seeing him play that game, I've said that maybe he's not the best player on the planet, but he's definitely better than Tyler Boucher, and I guess he's better than Ty Simpson. I mean,
everybody's Tyler Boucher should not be on the roster.
I mean, Buckner, whatever his name is,
Buckner, whatever, I don't know.
But I just wanted to point that out that I have been a quiet Milroe defender. I've said it on here, but I've been a quiet defender of this guy for a while, and as a football fan, not an LSU fan, I do love seeing him thrive and play the game like he was built to play the game. And that's not saying he can't throw the ball, but my God, he is as fast as lightning. He is so good. Insane. He is so fast. And I'm so sick and tired of this narrative that, hey, I get it. He wants to. I'm a quarterback. I'm a throwing quarterback. I get it. I respect that, Milroe. Mm-hmm. I really do. But guess what? You run a 4.3. You got moves.
You got wheels, man. Use them.
Use them, brother. Use them. And I'm so sick and tired of this whole thing with him saying I am a passing quarterback and only that. I'm like, dude. No.
Wait, did he say that?
Yeah, he said I'm a passing quarterback.
Oh my God.
Hey, I respect it. I respect it. Every quarterback says that about themselves. But at the end of the day, bro, you put up 4 rushing tuds, almost 200 rushing yards. You need to keep doing that.
Tommy Rees needs to keep doing that. Yes. Like Tommy Rees needs to find ways to get him the ball into open field.
Yes.
No offense to defense. Y'all's defense is bad.
It's bad.
His defense is bad. So there's that. But I mean, when he gets the ball in his hands, man. First off, I don't know why y'all didn't have a QB spy on him. Really don't.
That's a classic LSU move there. I mean, even if you did, are they going to catch up with them? I mean, no. There's no one was that fast on the football. He was the fastest player on the football field when they were on offense, and that's my biggest takeaway. Is like that's why Alabama's turnaround has happened this year. Is that they finally said we are committed to this guy, and the team has rallied around him. And guess what? Players improve, players learn, and that's what he's been doing every single week. He's shown the most growth of all y'all's quarterbacks, and I just wish they would have just committed to him day one, and just said, "This is your team. They don't ever worry about these other guys behind you. Those are your backups." And he might even be better than he is right now. Like we may have seen this game 3 weeks before this game. It feels like finally they let Milroe be Milroe and also put him in good situations. And like we said, LSU's defense is no world beater. They're not Ohio State. They're not Michigan. They're not Alabama. They're not Georgia. But they put him in situations where he was not forced to throw into coverage, double, triple coverage. And when he didn't have, and when he had the option to run, they gave him that option to run, Like there was a lot of scrambles, but there was also a lot of quarterback design plays for him. And
yeah.
I thought that was the smartest thing ever. As an LSU fan, I was like, oh, my God, of course they just finally discover their offense this game. This is exactly what would happen against LSU, is that they become the best offense in the country. But at the end of the day, for me, I've been defending this guy since day one. I've said Milroe's a legit quarterback. Once again, he might not be a player that plays on Sundays, but man, oh, man. He is an athlete. He can lead this team, and it's beyond being able to throw, being able to throw like a C.J. Stroud or
Or have the anticipation of like a Bryce Young.
Yeah, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. This is a new kind of a player, and he has got this team on his back, and it feels like he's a true leader. And that's all you need sometimes to win these games. When you got a defense like Alabama's got, you got players on that defensive side, you got players on this offensive side, and when you're humming like this, I mean, no one wants to see this team. And I'm just happy to see that they are committed finally to their best quarterback. I've said that since day one. Milroe is a legitimate guy, and my biggest takeaway for the Tide's turnaround has got to be Jalen Milroe's improvement throughout the season.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Plus, also, if you're a defender and you see Jalen Milroe coming full speed, do you want to get in front of that? Ole! Just let him run by. I would not, dude. When he runs, dude, he runs with a full head of steam.
Yes.
Like, he is coming for your – like, if you get in front of him, he's dropping a shoulder in your chest.
Yeah.
And he's probably going to run you over. Because, I mean, he's a big body, man.
Yeah.
He's huge. Like, and, I mean – he's gotten better with the intermediate, like with the short to intermediate throws as well. Yep. He obviously has the deep bomb. We actually didn't throw many deep bombs this week.
His pocket awareness too. It's like one of his
gotten
best.
So much better.
I mean, that's one of his best strengths. It feels like at this point now in the season. It's like he created so many plays in the pocket yesterday. Just taking a couple steps back, couple steps forward. The one where he's fading to his left. The running back
finds McClellan for 42 yards. That's what I was about to say, dude. That right there was just – first off, it was a good play by Jace McClellan because he wasn't even supposed to get the ball. He was a blocker.
Yeah.
But then he saw the pocket collapse. He branches out, and Jalen just tosses it over. And then I think it was after – there was one play, Harold Perkins was in coverage, and Jalen Milroe just tosses. I'm talking about beautiful touch pass over Perkins to Miller, the running back, and he just takes it. I mean, he has gotten better and better every week. He has done what the coaches have asked him to do, not putting himself in stressful situations. And I agree with you. I feel like the team has finally rallied around him. I was the guy that said Ty Simpson should be starting, but I've changed my mind over the weeks to see the growth in this young man and what he has done for this team. And I agree with you. The biggest turnaround is Jalen Milroe being the quarterback for Alabama.
Yeah, we all knew what the talent this team had when it comes to skill players and on defense. It was all about the quarterback play, and you're starting to see that quarterback play at a very high level out there in Alabama.
Roll Tide.
All right, there you got it from CDM. That will do it for our recap this week. Amazing football. This was a awesome week of football.
Dude, this was a great week for college football.
Oh my god,
awesome week. Next week's good. Hey, next week's good too. Next week's a good one.
Very big games. Very big games. We're gonna get into that right after our playoff and Heisman watch, as well as our updated playoff prediction. Let's get into this, CDM. Are we seeing any movement in your top 6 this week?
Okay, so I'm gonna start 6-1 like I usually do. At 6, I have the Washington Huskies.
Okay.
I think going toe for toe for USC, but letting up 42 points is pretty big. So, that's that brings you down a little bit. You put up 52, but you let up 42. So, as I said before, fix the defensive side of the ball and you'll be fine. At 5, I have Oregon. Oregon's just been dominant. As you said, they are one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest team in the country. They have just been dominating teams ever since that Washington loss, and they've looked better than Washington as well.
So you got them over them even after the loss. Okay. All right.
Oh, I mean, they've been doing a lot more that I feel like they have just gotten, as you said, I don't know how much better this team can get. I really don't how much better this team can get.
That's fair.
At 4, I have the Florida State Seminoles. At 4, struggled with Pitt last week, but, ultimately came out on top 24-10. Need to figure it out because they're going to win the ACC. They're going to win it, so I think they make the playoffs no matter what. At 3, I have the Michigan Wolverines at number 3.
Okay, all right.
I think just because the cheating scandal shouldn't really have anything to do with it, but I feel like there's other teams in the country that have done a lot more than just blowout teams. I feel like they have had better wins than Michigan has as well, depending on resume. At number 2, I have the Ohio State Buckeyes. They have the better resume than Michigan right now. They've been doing better. They have played better competition than Michigan. They have struggled at times, but when they struggle, they come out on top. They also have Marvin Harrison Jr., the best wide receiver prospect in college football. And then at number 1, I have the defending 2-time national champs who have done nothing to lose it, the Georgia Bulldogs at number 1. So Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Oregon, and Washington. Sooner or later, we will see the Alabama Crimson Tide back in the top 5.
I was expecting you kind of try and slip them in there.
I couldn't do it yet. I couldn't do it yet. I need Washington or Florida State to lose a game. I need one of those two. Because, I mean, Ohio State and Michigan, it's going to come down to the end of the season, obviously.
Yep.
But I need one of these teams to lose before I put Bama up there. But it's close. It's very much so close.
Yeah, I would agree. It's tough. You can't take Oregon out, and you can't take Washington's undefeated, and it's tough. And Texas still has the win over Alabama, so it's like, oh my god.
You can't. I can't put them over Texas just because it's a non-conference loss.
Mm-hmm.
I can put Oregon over Washington, even though it is a conference loss. Oregon has just been dominating teams compared to what Washington has been doing. Washington has struggled a little bit since that Oregon win.
Yeah. I guess I'll go right here.
Go on, brother.
You're not going to see much movement from me at all.
Probably won't.
None. Number 6, the Oregon Ducks. I want to move them up, but I can't. They've lost to the team that's in front of them. I'm holding strong with that team as well. So number 6, the Oregon Ducks, even though they are absolutely dominating everybody. 63 points this weekend. Insane. Number 5, the Washington Huskies. My team. I'm holding strong with them. They're going to find a way to win this whole thing. Just wait. You just got to wait. Or just wait. It's going to be cinema.
We will see about that.
We'll see about that.
When it comes to Vegas, we'll see.
Yeah, we will. All right, number 4. This is my one movement that we will see in this week. In my top 6, I got the Florida State Seminoles dropping down to number 4 for me. They were number 3 last week, but I have to drop them.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had to after the tough-ish game against Pitt, and with the resume of this team in front of them, I have to give them their respects. Plus, Dima reached out to me and said boo to my top 25, so I have to give Ohio State a little bit of respect. I understand, Dima.
I understand.
And number 3, I do have the Buckeyes sitting there. Like I said last pod, they have the best resume, but my eye test, man. I trust my eyes more than anything, and there's something telling me. So it's also a gut feeling. There's something telling me that this team is not going to do it this year. And even though I had them as my number 1 team in the preseason, there's something about this team that I'm not feeling. I'm not feeling it, and I'm going to hold strong to that feeling. I don't know what it is. Maybe they blow out Michigan and that feeling's gone. But for right now,
if they blow out Michigan, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna like hysterically laugh till I cry because that's gonna be funny.
That would be pretty funny. All right, number 2, the Georgia Bulldogs sitting there at number 2, holding that number 2 spot for me, and I am having the number 1 team as the sign stealing. Can't win a playoff game. I tried. All right, Michigan Wolverines at number 1.
How do you have Michigan at 1, bro? Georgia hasn't done anything to lose the spot.
I can't. I've made my bed, Carson. I can't dive off this thing anymore.
Oh, you could totally mess that son. You can totally mess it up if you want to. I'll make it up for you. I'll make it right. I'll make it right for you.
I can't. I gotta hold strong.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta hold strong. We might see some movement. With a big win against Ole Miss. You never know. And a tough game from Penn State. You might see some movement there, but I've made my bed, Carson. I've got to
I understand. Make your bed. But when that thing comes crumbling and burning, it's okay. It's okay. Just let you I have a shoulder for you to cry on when it happens.
I might piss the bed, but it's okay. All right. Let's move on. Like I said, my number 1 through 6 is Michigan, Georgia, Ohio State, Florida State, Washington, and Oregon. Let's get into our Heisman candidates.
Heisman watch.
All right. This one is very tough. Very, very tough. We're at a point in this season, man.
It's coming down to the nitty-gritty for whoever wants this award, man.
It really is. And, man, I got to be honest. I don't know what's trouble with this one, man.
I'm making a change. I'm making a slight change real fast.
Oh, we got to see. We're seeing a change here. I'm
making a change.
Second from CDM. Wow. I guess I'll get us going here on these Heisman watch here. I'll dive right in. And number 5 for me. People might not like it. People will probably disagree with it. It's okay. You don't have to listen to me. I might be dumb. I might be stupid. But I have a lot of respect for this guy. And he is carrying this team to a Big 12 championship. Give me Ollie Gordon at number 5, running back for Oklahoma State.
There's no way in hell that you just put him at 5.
Number 5, Ollie Gordon.
Where the hell's Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Number 4.
Okay, never mind. Shut my mouth.
Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 4. All right?
Okay.
Hold your horses over there.
Oh, pull the reins.
Holding. I had to drop a guy out of here because 3 losses, you're out of the race for me. Sorry. Love you, Jaden. At number 3, J.J. McCarthy.
Ooh, I like that.
At number 4, number 2. Number 2. Michael Penix Jr.
At 2?
At 2. At number 1, Bo Nix, baby.
That's exactly what I just did.
Bo Nix is number 1 in the Heisman watch for myself. Nate Dogg says it first here. We might be seeing the one man that no one would have ever expected. They have campaigned since day 1 with this guy. The Oregon Ducks and its faithful has believed in this moment, and I'm starting to kind of believe with them. Right now, the betting odds is between these two guys, Michael Penix and Bo Nix, at plus 150 for Michael Penix and plus 200 for Bo Nix. So it is a literally neck-and-neck pick-em when it comes to the odds.
Sure. Oh, that Pac-12 championship comes down to it.
Oh, my God, it really does. So, all right. That is mine.
At 5. At 5 for CDM, I have Jordan Travis at 5. Had a little struggle bus against Pitt, so we're going to put him at 5. At 4, have Marvin Harrison Jr., best wide receiver prospect in a while, honestly. With a name like that, you can't go wrong. Dude's a monster. Dude has all the measurables to be one of the best wide receivers going into the NFL draft, possibly to go into the NFL so far. At 3, I have J.J. McCarthy. Okay. At 3, even though he's not stealing signs, he's still part of it, but he's balling at the same time. So, go. That's the play. And then at number 2, Michael Penix Jr. And then number 1, I had to make a slight change in this because I was, I had to really think about this. I have number 1. I have Bo Nix at number 1. Dude's been balling. Dude has 1 or 2 interceptions so far, still has an 85 QBR and still throwing above 70%, almost 80% completion percentage in college football.
Insane.
Dude's a monster right now. I think, once again, he made the smartest decision of transferring from Auburn to Oregon. The first season at Oregon, you had to play Georgia at the beginning of the season. That was a big bummer. But then he started picking it up. And this season right now, he has shown, first off, he has the most career starts in college football. He has I think he has the most touchdowns as a college football quarterback so far. This is not the same Oregon team that surrounded Justin Herbert. This is a different team for sure, different play style, obviously. But Bo Nix is thriving in it. Bo Nix is showing what he can do.
He is ridiculous, bro. These stats are insane.
Dude, the stats don't lie, do they? The stats are good.
These stats are so good.
It's crazy.
2,723 passing yards, like you said, 80% completion percentage.
Yeah.
25 tuds, 2 interceptions, 5 rushing tuds, over 100 rushing yards. Jesus.
Come on now. God. Can we see another Oregon quarterback come home with the Heisman? Can we see it this year? I think it'll come down to the Pac-12 championship for sure between Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. But I think that will wrap up our Heisman watch. Now we go in to the playoff predictions.
Yes, sir.
Who are the final 4 teams to end the season, to go play for gold, for glory, for fame? I'll start this one off.
Right.
At number 4, I have the Georgia Bulldogs.
Okay. Okay. All right.
At number 3, I have the Alabama Crimson
Knew it
Tide
was gonna be.
making it back to the playoffs.
All right.
After the weeks that we've had, if we go into that SEC championship and beat Georgia, I think we are a lock for the playoffs for sure. At number 2, this one was bad. This one was tough because I had to knock down a team. I had to knock your team off. Putting Florida State Seminoles at number 2.
Okay. All right. All
And
right.
then at number 1, I have the non-cheaters with the best wide receiver prospect in the nation. I have Ohio State ending at number 1 in the playoffs. So number 1, Ohio State. Number 2, Florida State. Number 3, Alabama. And number 4, the Georgia Bulldogs. So just imagine we get an Ohio State Georgia rematch, and then we get Florida State versus Bama. Insane.
It would be pretty nice, wouldn't it? It would be pretty nice.
I guess you don't have the same thing.
I
Do
do
you?
not have the same thing as you. This parody, though, I mean, I like this. This, similar things here. This is very different, very different. Number 4 for me. I got to hold strong with my Washington Huskies finding a way to go undefeated and making it into these playoffs.
They got to find a way.
Got to find a way. They will find
Once
a way.
again, this weekend's a trap game, dude.
Yes, it is. This is a big one. So this is a big measuring test where they can, if they can compete and win massive against a possible Oregon matchup later in the year. Number 3, give me the Seminoles. Handling business, winning the conference, undefeated, getting to the playoffs.
Now, will they get ran through? Absolutely. But will it be cool? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Number 2, Michigan Wolverines.
Ooh. Okay. So Ohio State gets knocked off. Wait, what? How did Ohio State get 2 losses?
Ohio State is knocked out of the playoffs with a
How?
one loss to Michigan. That's it. Every other team.
Oh, yeah, they can't make the Big Ten championship if they lose to Michigan.
Yep.
But if they have 1 loss, you got to put them in.
Nope. Nope. Not over a Washington team that beats Oregon twice. And Florida State's undefeated. Nope. Not for me, at least.
Okay. I got you.
And number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs, because they would have beat Alabama,
Nah.
Ole Miss,
Oh, wait, yeah. Tennessee, Georgia Tech.
Yep.
That's about it.
They would have beat Alabama. That's a better win than a win.
Let's hope not. Let's hope we win. If we make it, we got to make it.
Hey, got to handle business. But yes, that is what I'm feeling. They will look at that resume and say, Michigan, you beat nobodies until you beat Ohio State. Georgia, you've handled your business without Brock Bowers. Yeah, we're going to give you that number 1 seed, even though I do think Michigan is going to be number 1 at the end of the day. I do have them winning and making it as the number 1 seed in the playoffs. All right, CDM.
Just to lose.
Hey, just you wait.
If Michigan goes back to 3 straight and loses all 3,
I would 110% pick Washington to beat Michigan too, though. So
I could totally see that happening. I mean, first off, if they make it and they lose, that just shows that the cheating wasn't worth it. The cheating wasn't worth it at all. If they lose in the playoffs for a 3rd straight year, I'm questioning everything.
Yeah, that shows that there was 0 competitive advantage. That shit did not work.
Guys, what happened? We cheated. We still lost.
Damn it.
Dang. Dude, are we doing a Pat McAfee thing right now? Come on, Nate.
Jeez.
I got to blurt that out now.
It's okay. All right. Let's get into these playoff game. I mean, these game picks, I'm losing my mind over here. We got to get out of here. Well, I'm tired. All right.
Same.
CDM, you have a 36 wins, 23 losses to my 32 wins and 27 losses. That's a 4-game lead. I'm losing. What's going on? I'm
winning.
This. Yes, you are.
I just want you to know, next season when we do this, I'm going undefeated. Going undefeated next season.
Not missing a game. Okay.
Not missing a game.
Okay. I'm holding you to that. Yeah, me too, honestly. So, all right. Hey, let's show the viewers what we got here with game picks this week. These lines obviously will shift throughout the week, but right now that's what we're looking at. Let's get right into this, CD, and let's start with the game for Alabama as they travel out to Kentucky for a massive matchup, SEC matchup. A lot of Ole Miss fans are begging and pleading for Kentucky to pull off one of the biggest upsets. Feels like 10.5 is not enough here, but CDM, what's your
I think it's
thoughts?
perfect.
Okay, what are you thinking in this game then?
We're coming off a really big win, so I think we keep the momentum train going. I think we continue to dominate, not really dominate, but show teams that we are here and we're still going to be here. So I'm taking Bama. I think we win 38-27.
What a
All
shocker!
we have, no, what a shocker! All we have to do really for Kentucky, if you shut down Kentucky's run game
Yep.
and you just leave, if you leave the quarterback the ball, it's over and done with. Plus, I've never seen Alabama go to Kentucky. So it's going to be nice to
That's
go to
interesting.
Lexington and just, wipe the floor with them. It's going to be nice. 10 and a half is graceful. 10 and a half is very graceful. Um, you know, it's going to be a good game. I think we win 38-27.
38-27. That line has not moved since this morning. Yeah, I'm kind of with you, man. I think it's going to be a little bit of a better win. I believe that we see Alabama kind of take control of this game pretty nicely, and then maybe Kentucky gets a late score to kind of try and make the score look a bit better. So give me Alabama though, 34-17, late touchdown from Kentucky to make it look a little bit better than it actually was.
You
Tennessee,
say
what?
you
What?
say 34-17?
Yeah, 34-17 Bama.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, Tennessee travels to Missouri after Missouri's hard-fought game against the Georgia Bulldogs. Tennessee is actually a 1-point favorite in this one. That feels a little weird. That feels a
Feels a
little
little. It
weird.
does feel weird because I mean both these teams are good, but I feel like Missouri has a slight edge on them.
Yeah, I mean, ranked higher. I mean, in the AP at least. Stadium, what's your thoughts on this 1-point favorite? I mean, that's a pick'em game.
I mean, it is a pick'em game for sure, especially Missouri coming off a really hard fought loss against Georgia. I really thought Missouri had that game not in the bag, but I thought they could really pull it out at the end. But Georgia just came out on top for sure. Tennessee just played a nobody and put up like 60 points. So I mean, really, I mean, what do you have to really lose, Tennessee? I mean, you already have two losses. I mean, go in this game. If you win this game, you got to pray that Georgia loses to Ole Miss and possibly lose another game to take control of the East. But I'm taking Mizzou. Taking Mizzou, I feel like they're going to bounce back. They only have two losses. It's two lost teams against each other, and I feel like this game. I feel like this game has a lot more behind it than anybody else thinks about it.
Yes.
I think it's going to be as high scoring. I think it's going to be good, but I ultimately think that Missouri gets it done. I pick Mizzou winning 24-21.
Okay, all right. Same score difference we got here. Yeah, it's a little crazy to me. I like Tennessee and the improvements they've made throughout this season, but Missouri, they've played their butts off against, they should have probably beat LSU if they had any ounce of defense, and they were competing with Georgia for most of that game, and those are their two losses this season. Two of the best teams
Yeah.
in the SEC and in the country. So, and Tennessee, they're no slouch either. They had Alabama on the ropes. This team has some pretty good wins, and their losses are not the worst of losses, I guess you could say. But
That Florida loss was pretty bad.
Florida loss is really rough. But I mean, fighting against Alabama, I mean, they've shown
You
that
got shut out in the second half.
they did. Yeah, but they had a good lead, Carson. Jesus,
But they got that shut out in the second half.
you're killing my point here. At the end of the day, I'm not picking them, so I don't know why I'm defending them.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Missouri's going to get this win here because, come on, Missouri's just looked so good this year in moments, and Tennessee has too, but I don't know. I just think Missouri's just a better team here, man. That's just my God-honest opinion.
I think they have the better quarterback. I feel like they have the better offense in general as
Yeah.
well.
I don't know. It's just weird. I'm a little shocked. I'm just shocked that this is a 1-point favorite for Tennessee. It feels like that line might shift to Missouri by the end of the week because it is a home game for Missouri too. So, I don't know. I don't know about that spread, but yeah, give me Missouri here. Like I said, same point differential, different score, 30-27. USC travels to Oregon, Eugene, Oregon, for a massive matchup within their conference. CDM, do you think the Trojans pull off the upset? Oh my gosh, I have that spread wrong. Oh my gosh, the graphics bad. I have Oregon as the underdog in that one. Oh my god.
Oh, that dude! What the heck?
That is wrong. It is supposed to
That
be.
is wrong. Oregon's 15-point favorites.
Yes, they are 15-point favorites.
Oh my god!
I just have that in the wrong spots. It's actually moved up to 16.5 by the time I made this graphic. So
Well, so Eugene is one of the hardest places to play college football. It is a tough environment to play. The crowd's always there. They are, Oregon Ducks the Oregon Duck crowd will always play a factor in the games for sure. It's a tough road win. It's a tough road game for USC, especially after coming off a big heartbreaking loss to Washington as well. Um, I don't think they get it done. Even though they just fired Alec Grinch, I still feel like Oregon gets it done. I have Oregon winning 45-35. I'm gonna give them a little, 10 point lead right there. I'm gonna give them that. But at the end of the day, I feel like Oregon's offense has just been dominating nonstop so far, and I feel like their defense is going to be stepping up against Caleb Williams and that offense for sure. And Lincoln Riley's not going to know what to do.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Oregon is just cooking right now, and I mean, at the end of the day, do we really believe that USC will turn it around in 1 week?
No.
I don't think so.
Well, I'll give them some respect. I mean, they did go toe to toe with Washington, but Washington had moments where they just, made smart plays, smart play calling, and ultimately came out on top. And I feel like Oregon can get that done. Dan Lanning is going to play. I mean, Dan Lanning is coaching the best he's ever coached in his first season for sure. I mean, this second season, and he's one loss. I mean, he's one loss, and that's just to a Washington team,
Yeah,
and only by 3 points.
yeah. This one is very, but like you said, I mean, this one really does have some kind of some. It's just got something to it a little bit more because of Washington, not being perfect these past few weeks, um, and yeah, I'm not gonna pick against them. They're my team, I'm not gonna do that. But at the end of the day, sorry, I was just stalling to get this graphic fixed.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 16.5 is actually the new spread here. But when I was picking it, it's just like, yeah, I'm not picking against this squad, and it was
No.
more about, all right, is the USC defense going to show up late? Now that they got a new guy in the building, are they going to kind of play with some heart? And yeah, there's a part of me that believes that they're going to play a little bit better, but there's also a part of me I just don't know if they have the talent. I just don't know if they have the talent to.
Wait, who is going to be their defensive coordinator this game?
Yeah, I bet they just brought up like a DB's coach. Let's see, USC inner
That's a question though for sure.
defensive coordinator. It will be announced defensive line coach Sean Nua.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one, and associate, and yeah, and linebackers coach Brian Odom will take over. Doesn't say who's calling plays for him, but yeah, 16.5. That's massive. 73.5 over under. I'm taking the Oregon Ducks and another massive 50 piece put on USC's
God.
head here. 51 points for Oregon in this one. 51-27.
Dominance.
Yeah,
Absolute dominance.
just beat them.
Keep going on with the Pac-12. We have the Utah Utes going to Washington. Now, this is another trap, as I kept saying, this is a trap game for Washington. They got to watch out because this Utah defense, even though they did get dominated by Oregon has woke up a little bit more. So can Washington get it done against this Utah defense that has looked good, but also not looked the best? Nathan, take it away for us, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, Utah. This does feel like a game Utah could really just shift the narrative within the Pac-12. Kind of a thing that no one was saying. Maybe this is a moment where we see the Pac-12 beat each other up and kind of start maybe taking themselves out of this playoff push. And I would not be shocked by that, but it does feel like Washington, that USC win. You put a lot of points, and it feels like maybe that's a win. All right, we got the win, but there's a lot to learn from that one. We've had some really tough wins that should have not maybe even been wins in the past few weeks. Makes me feel like they're going to get a little bit of a turnaround here on defense. Offense does what it does. Give me Washington and a nice little win here, covering 41-24.
Yeah, I'm going to take Washington with you. They just got to be careful. Got to be
Yes.
careful with this Utah team, especially
Yes.
on the defensive side of the ball. You don't know what they're going to throw at you. Michael Penix Jr. just needs to continue what he's doing, and that's balling out.
Yep.
Wide receivers and everybody around him keep doing what they're doing. This offense is insanely good. So I'm going to take Washington with a score of 35-21. 35-21 Washington.
All right, CDM. All right, let's get into these massive games for the rest of the night. The two biggest games of the day. That spread was at 3.5. Now it's at 4.5. Michigan is favored heading out there to Happy Valley. Massive implications in this one. Penn State could put themselves right back in that conversation of maybe making that Big Ten championship with a win here and some luck from Michigan. CDM, you got your Nittany Lions pulling off the upset. 4.5. That's not a lot.
Could not even pick this game, dude. I don't even know. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't even know. I really don't know because this game can go either way. I want to pick Penn State, but every time I pick Penn State against these teams, they always end up letting me down.
Fair.
But also, I don't want to pick Michigan because of everything Michigan has been accused of doing, but also everything else that has come out about the Big Ten as well. I didn't make a decision, but now I'm going to make a decision. It's going to break my heart. We are Penn State, baby. Let's go, Nittany Lions.
Oh, my God.
Nittany Lions, baby. Nittany Lions are going to come back to Happy Valley. Whiteout game. Going to show the Michigan Wolverines that, hey, you may steal signs, but you're not stealing this win from me. Michigan is going to lose this game. Getting that first loss before the Ohio State game. It's going to be a score of 24-21. I still think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game.
Right.
But that defense, as you said before, that defense is what. Oh, I'm sorry, lady. I woke you up. Sorry, I have a dog now. Penn State. That defense is good. This is the best defense that Michigan will play all season, besides Ohio State. John Franklin has got to show that he can beat a top James. Oh, I said John. James Franklin has got to show that he can play and beat a top 25 team. He is not – the resume shows that he is not the best when it comes to beating teams like that. But you have to come out this time and show, because if you win this game, you're back in the race to make a Big Ten championship game, and then you're back in the race to possibly making a playoff game. You just need Ohio State to lose that last game of the season. So I'm taking Penn State. It may be a bad one, but ultimately I'm going to stick with my boys in Happy Valley. That place is one of the hardest places to play. Give me Penn State 24-21.
I respect your passion. I really do.
I understand that you have to go against it. It's fine.
And I really might be rooting for Penn State in this one because I do love Penn State. But this is our first sample size of Michigan versus a good team, and I believe that defense will be just as good as it's been. I do think the offense might struggle early on, but we'll put up enough points to get the job done here out there in Happy Valley. 4.5. That's a nice one to say. All right, Penn State wins it. 4.5's not that bad.
Yeah, they could totally do it.
I could see that cover, but I think Michigan pulls it off and gets the cover here. Give me Michigan 24-13. We're gonna see.
Honestly, that's not bad. That's really not that bad.
Good defensive battle, man. It's gonna be a good defensive battle in my opinion. So
24-13 is not that bad. I'll take that. But when Penn State wins, I'll give you a call.
I'm gonna be bad off if Penn State wins. There's no way I make a comeback in these records now.
No. If Penn State wins, you may be done.
It's over. It's done. It's dead. So hopefully I can get this next game right. This is their last one of the day. Ole Miss travels out there to Georgia, Athens, Georgia. Their biggest game of the season.
Both teams, honestly, this is the biggest game of both their seasons.
This kind of outlines the rest of their season and what they have to do to kind of make it to that playoff, maybe even possibly make the playoffs. Yeah, Ole Miss still needs some help, but Georgia, driver's seat in the East, and has pretty much, and then they control their destiny. So, and there's no pretty much, they do control their destiny. So,
but we figured out one thing, Nate. You never pick against Georgia anymore. Never pick against Georgia.
I think we're in agreement here.
I think we both know where this is going. I think everybody should know that me and Nathan both pick Georgia Bulldogs to win this game. But what's your score prediction in this one, brother?
Yeah, man, I really do believe it's going to be a good game. 11.5 is a nice little, I could feel an Ole Miss backdoor cover here. Maybe about a 13-point game in the fourth quarter. Might see a touchdown, maybe a field goal and a touchdown here from Ole Miss to make it look, maybe try to make a comeback late, but not pull it off. At the end of the day, not picking against the Bulldogs here. Give me Georgia, 34-31. CD, what you got?
I'm gonna throw a switcheroo on you. I'm just joking. I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that.
Grenade!
I can't do that. No, I'm taking Georgia. Georgia, number one team in the nation, two-time defending champs. We say it every pod. I'm going to continue to say it until someone proves me wrong that they are not the number one team. Nate over here has Michigan, so obviously he has something else up his sleeve that I don't. As you see him stealing signs. But I have Georgia winning this game. I feel like it's going to be a better game than people think it's going to be. I feel like it's going to be a lot closer. I have Georgia winning by a score of 38-35. I feel like it's going to be that close of a game.
And we got some similar scores here. Very similar scores this week.
I mean, I'll be really happy if Ole Miss pulls it off. I will be extremely happy.
I know you
will. But that will conclude our game picks and the pod for College Kings. Brother, another week of college football down the books. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. It's almost over, and I'm getting very sad.
Yep. All right, CDM, right now, as we wind down in this pod in this college football season, give me your favorite college football moment of your life.
College, oh, dude, Tua in the national championship, 2nd and 26 for the win. Obviously, that's my favorite moment of all time. You cannot first off, it's in a championship game, and then you get put in the second half as a freshman. I mean, what else better than that?
Yeah, I'd probably go kick 6.
I hate you. I hate you so much. You're an asshole for that. There's a special place in hell for people like you.
That's the end of the pod right there.
And we're done.
All right, CDM, thank you once again.
Thank you, everybody, for another great week. We will catch you back next Monday after another great week of college football.
Yes, indeed. Hey, follow us. The bar down below. It's been running all pod. Go to YouTube to find it.
YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok soon. I'm getting a TikTok account for this page soon, so I promise you we'll be on TikTok.
Yes, it'll be very, very soon. We are doing that because it's a nice little avenue for some
It's a nice one.
Yes. So once again, thank you all for listening or watching College Kings. Once again, presented by Nate Dogg Sports. We will see y'all next week. Peace.
Deuces.